listos para la Junta del Concilio de la Ciudad. Ahora son las 10:05 AM y tenemos 3 miembros presentes. Muy gracias, señor García Tirsain. Estamos 10 menos para un quórum. Está llamándose lista de los ausentes. Si están en el edificio, por favor, vengan a su camino para el concilio de la Ciudad. Al camino del concilio.
morning, everyone.
Buenos días a todos.
I'd like to call this
Me
meeting to
gustaría abrir
order.
esta junta en orden.
Welcome to City Hall,
Bienvenidos al
welcome to
Concilio,
Council
bienvenidos
Chambers,
al
and
Concilio de
welcome to
Elección,
a meeting of the
bienvenidos a
Los
la Junta
Angeles
de
City
los
Council
Concilios de
for
la
today,
Ciudad para hoy
Friday,
viernes,
February
febrero
14th,
14 de 2003.
To everyone
Para
present and
todos
everyone
presentes,
watching at
todos
home,
viendo en casa,
Happy Valentine's Day.
feliz día de San
This is a
Valentín.
meeting of the
Esta
Los
es una
Angeles
junta de
City
Los Ángeles del
Council.
Concilio de la
City
Ciudad.
Council meets every
Concilio se
Tuesday,
junta martes,
Wednesday, and
miércoles y
Friday at
viernes
10
a las
a.m.
10 de la mañana.
Meetings are open to the
Juntas
public.
están
We
abiertas
invite
para el
you to
público,
join us
invitos
and
que estén con nosotros y
participate
participen
in council
en los
proceedings.
presidentes del
For
Concilio.
members of the
Para
public
miembros del
unable to
público que no
attend
pueden
council meetings,
asistir
we
a
can
las
be viewed
juntas
live from home on your
los
cable
asuntos del
station,
Concilio
channel
pueden ser en
35.
vivo por el canal
We can
35 de
also be viewed
Cablevisión y
live
también puede ser
via
visto en vivo
webcast
por
from the
el
city's
web, la
homepage
página del
or
web,
heard via council phone.
hoy por el teléfono del
We have 7
Concilio.
members present
Tenemos
at
7
this time,
presentes en
3
este
shy of a
momento,
quorum.
3
But
cortos
this
de
being
acción, pero
Friday,
como
as
este es viernes,
customary,
como
we
es
do have
costumbre,
scheduled a
tenemos
series
puestas una serie
of
de
presentations and
presentaciones y
special
de
recognitions.
reconocimiento
Let's begin
especial. Vamos a
today's
empezar toda la presentación de hoy
with
con
recognizing Councilmember
reconociendo al
Eric
Concilio
Garcetti.
Eric Garcetti.
Good morning, colleagues.
Buenos días, colegas.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Muchas gracias,
President,
señor
and
presidente.
I'm
Y
joined by
va a estar
Councilmember
junto por el
Labange for this
concejal
special
Labange por la
presentation.
presentación especial.
For many of us, as
Para
we
muchos de
open the
nosotros,
paper
como
today,
leemos el periódico hoy,
unexpectedly, I think for
sin
most of
esperar
us,
para
we
todos
had a front
nosotros,
page
tenemos
story
una página de primera plana
highlighting the accomplishments
subrayando
and the life of the
la
woman that we
vida
are
de
to
la mujer
honor
que vamos a
here today,
honorar hoy
Ruth
aquí,
Peace,
Ruth
who
Peace,
was on the front
que
page of the
estuvo en la
California
página
section
de la
today,
sección de California hoy,
talking about a
hablando de
celebration
una
for her
celebración por su
95th birthday.
95avo
It's a real honor to have somebody
cumpleaños.
who has
Es un honor
contributed
tener
so
a alguien que ha
greatly not
contribuido
only to this
tanto
city but to
a la
this
ciudad,
world
pero a este
through
mundo,
her vision and her
por su
love
visión y su
before
amor
us today in
antes de
council.
nosotros en el concilio.
I want to give you a little bit
Quiero
of
darles un
her
poquito
life
de su
story,
vida,
and then I'll turn it over
y
to
lo voy a
Councilmember
voltear para
Labange,
el
who will
concejal
present a
Labange y va a
certificate
presentar los
together.
certificados
Ruth
juntos.
Peace was
Ruth
raised
Peace
in
fue
Atlantic,
criada en Atlantic, Iowa,
then a small farming
Luego
town of 700 people.
pueblo pequeño
She was the
de
oldest daughter
granjas,
of deaf mute
la
parents.
más chica de 7
Ruth had to
veces.
interpret
Tuvo
for
que
the family
interpretar
as
para
well
la
as care for her
familia, era
younger
hija de
sister
mudos
from
por
the
los
early
padres
age of 2.
desde la edad de 2.
She was literally
Ella
the
literalmente
ears and
los
the voice for
oídos
the
y la voz
family.
de la familia.
She was always a star
También
reader
fue
in
la
school,
estrella.
which she attributes to her second language,
Ese es su
sign language.
lenguaje.
Ruth began to care for the neighborhood children at
Empezó a
about
cuidar a los
age
niños como a
11.
los 11
She helped
años.
mothers with the
Ayudaba a las
ironing
madres con
as well as the
planchar
child care.
y el cuidado de los
Her father
niños.
was a
Su padre
shoemaker
era
and
hacer
could not afford
zapatero y no podía
the frills that a young girl
lo que
desired.
una pequeña muchacha
Ruth,
puede
nevertheless, was not deterred.
no se
She began
detuvo.
making
Ella
her own
empezó su
clothing,
propia ropa.
which led to
Que llevó
elaborate
a-
knit dresses that she was famous for.
Fue famosa
And
por
growing
los
up as
días
the
que sigue
daughter
creyendo
of
como
deaf
la hija
parents in
de
the early
padres.
1900s was
De
hard.
otro modo era difícil.
Ruth was not allowed to interact
No
with her
podía interactuar
classmates.
con sus
The other
compañeros
parents
de la
would
escuela,
not
ellos
allow
no dejaban que
old Deafy's kid to
los-
date their children.
que anduvieran los
Ruth
hijos
married
de
at the
los
age of 20
sordomudos que
and
estuvieron
left
contra se casó a los
Atlanta.
20 se fue a Atlanta.
She settled in Los
Ella
Angeles
se
just
vino a
before
Los Ángeles
Pearl
poco
Harbor.
antes de Pearl Harbor.
The memories of the
Las memorias
blackouts are
de
still
los
with her
todos
today.
están con
Now,
los
here's an
aparatos
interesting
están con
thing
ella.
too,
Una
and I'm
cosa
sure
interesante también, y yo
her
creo que
family
su familia
wishes that it hadn't
es
been
que no
sold,
hubiera
but
sido
during the
tanto
Depression,
durante la
she
depresión.
created the
Ella
prototype
creó
for the
el
disposable
prototipo
diaper
del-
and sold it to Kotex for what was then quite a big
pañal
sum,
desechable
$1,000.
por $1,000.
Enough said there.
Sí, sí, sí.
But it's really where she's made
Pero
an
es lo
impact
que ha
in
hecho el
Councilmember
impacto
Labange's
del
district, in the 4th
distrito
Council
Labange.
District on Highland Avenue, where many
Highland
people
Avenue, donde
drive
muchos que
by a
manejan
place called the
por lugares
Hollywood
de
Little Red
Hollywood
Schoolhouse.
Red Escuela Roja.
The Hollywood Little Red
Pequeña escuela-
Schoolhouse,
la pequeña
located in the
escuela
heart of
roja está en el
Hollywood on
corazón de
Highland Avenue, was established in
Hollywood en Highland Avenue
1945
en
by Ruth.
1945 fue
The
establecida
school
por Ruth.
began as a
La escuela
response
empezó como una
to the
respuesta
county's request for help in
al
meeting the
condado para
child
ayudar
care
al
needs
cuidado
of
de
the
los
post-war
niños
community.
de las comunidades
The
después de
baby
la
boom.
guerra.
For more than
Para
23 years, the
23
school
años
served
la
the
escuela
area by
sirvió el
providing
área, pero
preschool
viendo las
activities for
actividades
20
de
children.
preschool de 23
It was in the
niños.
1960s,
En
though, that it
1960
became
que
clear that the
empezó
need for
claro que la
children was
necesidad de
growing.
niños iba
To
creciendo.
meet that need, the
Para esta
school itself
necesidad la escuela
expanded,
se
and in
expandió y en
1968, the current preschool
1968 la
building was
escuela
constructed, and
preescolar se
enrollment more than
construyó
doubled to 50
y
children.
se
Some of the
dobló
celebrities whose children
hace
attended during her
cuenta.
time include
Niños.
Alan Hale
Incluyen
Jr.,
Alan Hale
Pinky
Jr.,
Lee,
Pinky Lee,
Marie Wilson,
Mary
and the
Wilson,
then unknown
y el no
Jane
conocido
Mansfield,
Jane
who had to borrow
Mansfield,
Ruth's
que
lipstick
tuvo
and
que
powder
comprar
for interviews.
su
I wanted to join today with Councilmember
la vida
Labange.
y por polvo para
read
las
before we're not
entrevistas.
going to present it quite
Vamos
yet,
a
but I
entrar
wanted to
todavía
read the
por leer
certificate
el
of
certificado
appreciation
de
to
apreciación
congratulate
para
you on
felicitarla
the incredible
en las
contribution
contribuciones
that you've made
especiales
to
que ha
this
hecho usted
community,
a esta
to the
comunidad,
life that you've
a la
led
vida
here
que
in
ha
Los
vivido aquí en
Angeles,
Los
to the
Ángeles,
spunk
para
and vigor with which you live
vigor
every
con
single
el que
day of your
vive todos
life.
los
And if you
días de su
haven't
vida,
seen
y
it,
si
I
no lo ha visto,
direct you down to
les
the
dirijo
floor
yo
where you
al
can see
piso donde
some
pueden
wonderful
ver
sparkling
algunos
gold shoes that Ruth is wearing
zapatos
today. But we congratulate you today for being a true pioneer in education and business, for being the founder of the Little Red Schoolhouse, for serving the Hollywood community since 1945, for providing preschool education for thousands of children, and elevating preschools from babysitting centers to centers of learning, for providing a safe place for children so their moms could go out into the workforce, therefore giving these moms themselves inspiration, and for having strong convictions about multiculturalism and education. We hope that you have a happy 95th birthday. It actually passed on January 30th, so we know that you did 2003, and may you have many, many more. We are really looking forward in 5 years to celebrating your centennial here in council as well. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tom Labonte, and congratulations to your family as well.
Councilman Garcetti,
Señor
thank you.
Garcetti,
Ruth,
gracias,
thank you. I
Ruth,
love the
muchas
story
adoro
today
la historia hoy
in the paper
en el periódico
that talked about
que
such a
habló acerca
positive
de
story,
esta
because
historia
sometimes the
tan positiva,
calendar
porque los
section's filled with
calendarios están
stories
llenos de
that
historias que
not so positive.
no son tan
But the one
positivas,
part of
pero
your
una
story I
parte de
love,
su
Ruth,
historia
is how
que
you tell the
adoro es
West.
como
You
se
and your
vino al
husband
oeste,
kind
su
of
esposo y
moved
su
out
se
here,
movieron para que
migrated,
al
came
oeste,
to Los Angeles,
vinieron a Los
landed on
Ángeles,
Highland
se
Avenue when the
pusieron
big
en
red
Highland
car
Avenue
used to
cuando el
run down
carro rojo
Highland
corría
Avenue.
por Highland
And
Avenue
then you were
y
smart
luego usted
enough
fue suficiente
to develop
inteligente para
such
desarrollar
an interesting school, a
tal
Big Red
interesante
Schoolhouse,
escuela,
which is something
que es
our
algo que
region of
nuestra
Los
región de
Angeles,
Los
because we're
Ángeles,
somewhat of
porque
an
es algo
urban
que somos
lake
urbanos,
city, and the type of
en el
architecture
que
didn't
esa arquitectura no
have. It's a
tenía, eso
landmark
es
that I know you don't want to have
histórico
historic
que no quiere
status
ser que
because
estatuto
you'll be affected
histórico
by the
porque
building
afectada
department.
por
No,
el
just
monto de
kidding.
edificio.
But
Estoy
it is a
vacilando,
landmark
pero es
right there on the
en
corner
la
that
esquina
is so
ahí que es
special.
tan
And then you
especial
have a
y
wonderful
lo tiene
daughter,
una hija
Debbie,
tan
who
maravillosa, Debbie,
truly
que de veras
star
es
of your life,
la
but
estrella
truly
de
who
su
is
vida,
involved
que
with
estuvo
your
envuelta en
community
sus
there
comunidades
and
ahí
impacting life,
y
who
de
has a
su vida, que
wonderful
tiene un gran
husband,
esposo
Ferris,
maravilloso,
who
Ferris,
has a
que
passion
ha
for his
dado por
neighborhood. He's
sus
right behind
vecindarios,
you.
está atrás de
And,
usted.
and a passion for the
Y pasión
neighborhood
por el
and involvement
vecindario,
in the neighborhood,
envolvimiento en
and
el
that
vecindario.
dynamic team there. So
Ese
it's so
equipo
wonderful
tan
to see the
dinámico es
story.
maravilloso ver la historia.
And Councilman Garcetti, it's
Councilman
great to
Garcetti,
join
es
with you and
bueno,
honor
en honor
Ruth
a
Dees
Ruth
on this day,
en este
your
día,
95th
el 95
year.
año.
And there's also someone special
También
that I
es alguien
want you to
especial
meet
que
in a
quiero
few
que
minutes here,
conozcan
because
los
we're
cuantos
honored in
minutos
this
porque estamos
council to
honorados
have
en este
such a
concilio,
graceful
tener
woman who's contributed
que
so much to
contribuido tanto
Hollywood
a Hollywood,
community,
a la comunidad,
and neighborhood,
el
through the
vecindario,
educational
por el
process of the
proceso de
Hollywood
educación de
Little Red
Hollywood,
Schoolhouse.
la
Congratulations
Escuela
to you,
Pequeña
Ruth.
Roja. Muchas felicitaciones.
Morning.
Buenos días.
I'm truly
De veras
honored
estoy
to be
honorada, estoy
here.
aquí.
I'm overwhelmed
Yo
with the
estoy
building
dentro del
itself
edificio en sí.
and just everything.
No todo, nada.
Please forgive me
Por
for
favor,
being so
discúlpenme por
overcome. I can't
estoy
help
tan
it.
emocionada.
It's wonderful,
Es maravilloso,
wonderful.
maravilloso.
All of you have been
Todos
kind,
ustedes, muy buenas gentes.
and that's all.
Y esto es lo que puedo
Oh, you
hacer.
can do a lot because you have done a lot.
Hay
Debbie,
muchas,
your daughter wants to say something right now. Tell her how much you love her.
Dígale cuánto le quiero.
Well,
Valentine's Day.
absolutely.
Absolutamente.
I have to give my
Tendría
mother
que darle a mi
credit
madre
for so
crédito
much
por
of what I
tanto de
am
lo que soy
as a woman and
mujer.
who I am as a business
Y
person
que soy como
and what it
gente de
is that I feel
persona
is
lo que
important
yo
in giving
siento
back to
como
the
es
community.
regresándole a la
She was
comunidad.
always
Ella
extremely
siempre
generous in
extremadamente
everything that
generosa
she
en todo lo
did.
que hizo.
Never let a person
Nunca
go
dejó una
by who
persona
needed
pasar que necesitaba
assistance without
asistencia.
reaching out and helping them in some way. And the most
Pero
remarkable
la
thing is that
cosa
she
más
never thought
maravillosa
that
es
what
que
she
nunca
was
pensó que
doing
lo
was
que estaba haciendo
extraordinary
es
in any way.
extraordinario.
Starting a business of her
Empezando un
own in the
negocio por sí
40s
misma, a
at
los
age
40, a los
36 didn't
36,
seem
no
as a
parecía
difficult or pioneering thing to her,
cosa
which was something that
pionera,
needed to be
entonces
done.
algo que
She went
necesitaba
forward and
hacerse
she
fue
did
adelante y lo
it.
hizo.
And so I thank her
Entonces,
for
las gracias
giving me
por
that
darme a
early
mí
training
ese
and
entrenamiento
helping me
temprano y
to take
ayudarme a tomar
responsibility not only for
responsabilidad no
myself
para
but for
mí,
my
pero para
community.
mi comunidad. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Mr. President,
Señor
and
presidente,
here's the certificate of
este es el certificado
appreciation
de
for you.
apreciación para usted, Ruth.
Why don't you turn around this way.
Voltea para.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you, Mr. Garcetti. for
Gracias,
the next
García, por esa
presentation.
presentación.
The
Así
chair recognizes
reconoce al
Councilmember
concejal
Thank you very
Levach.
much.
Muchas
And,
gracias.
to follow
Y
Ruth, we
para
have
seguir a
someone
Ruth
who
tenemos a alguien que
beat her by 5 years, a
me ganó por 5 años,
centurion.
centurión.
I can't say it. A gentleman who's lived to be
que ha
100
vivido
years
100
old.
años.
Please welcome
Pues,
Earl
darle la bienvenida
Hutchinson
a
Sr.
Hutchinson, señor.
I'm pretty good. And he has a very
Y
special
tiene
son
un
who we
hijo
all
especial
know.
que todos
Good to
conocemos.
see you, Earl.
Bienvenido.
Earl Hutchinson Sr.
Earl
lives in my
Hutchinson vive
district
en
in
mi
Park La
distrito,
Brea.
Park La Brea.
He is a wonderful
Él
man
es un
who's lived to
maravilloso
be
hombre que ha vivido
100
hasta
years
100
old. He's
años.
an author.
Es un autor.
His book, A
Su
Colored
libro,
Man's Journey Through the 20th Century of Segregated America, which
segregada,
speaks of that
que habla de
history
esa historia
and the importance of
y la importancia
recognizing
de
that history,
reconocer
the
esa
importance of
historia, la importancia
understanding
de
the past
entender el pasado
and the unfairness
y
of the
la
past to
injusticia del
prevent any
pasado para
unfairness in
prevenir
the future.
injusticia en el futuro.
It's so wonderful to
Es
have
tan
you and your
maravilloso tenerlo
family
aquí
here
en su
this
familia
morning.
esta
We
mañana.
have a commendation
Tenemos una
signed
commendación
by
firmada
all
por
members
todos los
because
miembros,
in Los
porque
Angeles,
en Los Ángeles,
truly, when you reach
verdaderamente
100
cuando
years
llegan a 100
old,
años,
you're an angel in the
Jesús es
city
un
of
ángel en la
angels
ciudad de Los
absolutely
Ángeles,
every day and
absolutamente
every
todos los días, en todo
moment
momento,
for your
por
contribution
su
to
contribución
our
a
community.
nuestra comunidad.
Earl Hutchinson Sr.,
Earl Hutchinson,
congratulations and thank you
felicitaciones y
very
muchas
much
gracias
for coming to
por
this City
venir a
Hall.
City Hall.
I had a scribble here
Escribí
to the
algo
City Council,
al Concilio de la Ciudad.
I'm proud to
Estoy
be
orgulloso de
the
tener
recipient of
el
this award,
recipiente de este premio.
and I accept
Y
it
lo acepto
with gratitude
con
and
gratitud
a deep sense of
y un
humility.
sentido muy hondo de humildad.
I hold it
Yo
in
lo
the
detengo
greatest
en el más grande
esteem, and I
esteem,
thank you.
y le doy las gracias.
Thank you so
Muchas
much, and
gracias.
I don't want to go away yet because I want your son, who articulates so many views, so special, to say a few words about his
hacer unas
special
palabras habla
father.
de un padre especial.
I want to thank the City
Quiero darle
Council and especially the
especialmente al
Honorable, and it is an
honorable,
honor to see the Honorable Tom
Tom
LaBonge.
LaBonge.
Tom, when I said
Cuando dije,
my father's
mi
100 years
padre
old,
tiene
he's
100
written
años,
a book,
ha
he's
escrito
done a
un libro,
lot
ha
in
hecho
terms of
mucho en
public
términos de
service,
servicio
not only in the
público,
city
no
of
solo en la
LA,
ciudad de
but
Los
before that in
Ángeles,
St.
pero antes de
Louis
eso en San
and
Luis
Chicago.
y
He's been
Chicago.
a
Ha
courageous
sido
fighter
un peleador
against
con
racial
mucho coraje,
injustice,
injusticia racial,
economic injustice in this country for
injusticia
many,
por
many years.
muchos años.
He's enriched so many
Ha
lives,
enriquecido
not
tantas
only in our
vidas, y no
family,
solo en
but
nuestra
those
familia,
that
pero en
have
esos que
surrounded
están
him and have
alrededor
come
de él,
within
que han venido
his
dentro
orbit.
de su
We
órbita.
had to have
Teníamos
some
que
kind of
tener alguna clase
commendation,
de
some kind of
recomendación,
tribute,
alguna de
and
tributo,
all I had to
y todo
do
lo
was
que
just make
pasó fue
one
hacer
phone call
una
to
llamada
Tom
a Tom
LaBonge.
LaBonge.
There was nothing else he
No,
said.
es que
We're
dijo,
going to do it.
vamos
This
a
is a
hacer,
special
este día un
man.
hombre
This is a
especial,
special occasion.
una ocasión
We owe
especial,
him that.
le
You
debemos
don't have to
eso,
say
no
another
tiene que decir
word. So
otra
my
palabra,
hat's off
entonces mis
to
manos.
Tom LaBonge
Tom
and the
LaBonge
City
y el
Council for
Consejo de la Ciudad por
recognizing this. I
reconocer
can't say
esto, no
enough
puedo
in
decir
terms of
suficiente en
appreciation.
términos de
Thanks
aprecio.
again.
Gracias otra vez.
This is Kathy
Esta es
Hutchinson,
Kathy
his wonderful
Hutchinson,
wife
su
of
esposa
25
de
years.
25
And
años.
forgive me, I want to
Y
introduce right
disculpe, quiero
here
presentar aquí
the granddaughter,
sus nietas.
Dr.
Doctora
Sakia Hutchinson.
Susie
Stand up,
Hutchinson, para ser
doctor.
doctora.
Give her a big hand because I'm sure inspiration all the way. We're going to get a group shot of
Vamos a ver los de
195 years of life in
195
the
de
back
vida
when the
atrás
Hollywood Red
cuando
Schoolhouse
la
meets its
escuela se junta
distinguished
con
Park La Brea resident in the photo room. So Earl
Entonces,
Hutchinson, we want to get a quick
quiero hacer
picture.
un retrato rápido.
Let's every day,
Vamos a
we
todos los
can't do this.
días.
Let's sing happy
Vamos a
birthday
hacer-
today because
vamos a
every day's a
hacer happy
birthday.
birthdays.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Earl. Happy birthday to you. All right, thank you so much. So another 100. Yeah, another 100. That's right. You betcha. We're going to get you squared away right here. And we'll get you all in the back. Thank you so much. I want to visit a little bit and see this book. Mr. President,
Señor Presidente.
after that very special presentation,
Después de esa
there's a
presentación
couple,
hay un
if I
par
could
de, si
proceed
podría
with your
proceder
permission
con su
there.
permiso ahí.
We have
Tenemos
commendations for our
recomendaciones
Business and
para la
Industry
industria del
Council for the
Concilio de
Emergency
Negocios para la
Preparedness
Emergencia, para el planeamiento,
Organization. And I'm going to
organización, y
ask
voy a
my
pedir a mi
assistant Stacy
asistente Stacy
to hand me
que
the
me pase los
certificates there.
certificados ahí.
And Ellis Stanley, if
Y
you
al
could come
Stanley si puede
forward
venir
here.
para adelante, por favor, aquí.
And Ellis is coming
Y él
forward. You
viene
know,
para
every day
adelante, todos los días.
we see Ellison working
Vemos a Ellis
hard as
trabajando
he
duro,
works so
como
well for
trabaja
emergency
también para la
preparedness
operación
in our
en
city.
nuestra ciudad.
And I'd like to ask
Me
that the
gustaría
Business and
pedir que
Industry
el
Council
Industria
come
de
forward
Negocios venga para adelante
for this
para
commendation.
esta recomendación.
Kelly Shivertaker is the president.
Que ella la va a tomar como presidente.
Kelly Shivertaker is the
Kelly Shivertaker
president
es
of
la
the Business and
presidenta
Industry
del
Council for
Concilio de
Emergency
Industrias y
Planning
Negocios
and
para Planeamiento y
Preparedness,
Preparación.
BICEP, as it's called. recall that it's established in 1993
establece en
by the order of
1993
then
por la
Mayor
orden
Tom
de
Bradley for a
Tom
group
Bradley
of
para
business
un grupo
leaders to
de
meet to
líderes de
discuss
negocios para
disaster
discutir
preparedness.
preparación
This
de
group
desastre.
subsequently became the steering committee and
El
formed
comité
this
estudió y
council.
informó este
It was
concilio.
established as a
Se
private
estableció
sector
como un sector
self-help
privado
association
ayudados por sí
funded by
mismos,
annual
fundado por
sponsorships
esos
and donations
y
to
donaciones
help
para ayudar
educate the public
educar al público
about disaster
acerca de
preparedness.
prevención de
Throughout the
desastre.
years,
Por todos
they've
los
done
años
many things
han
to
hecho
work
muchas
with the
cosas
business
para trabajar
community
con la comunidad
and
de
has
negocios y
upgraded many
ha
things that we
subido
take for
muchas
granted
cosas de las
today
que
as we are prepared for
no
earthquakes,
apreciamos
fire,
porque nos
floods,
preparamos
or
para
any other challenge that may come our way.
fuegos
And it's my honor on behalf of all the council and the
temblores
mayor
y
to
es un honor
salute
para el concilio y
the
el
Business
alcalde
and
le
Industry Council
saludar
for
al
Emergency
concilio de
Planning and
planeamiento
Preparedness
y
for your
preparación
work for
para su
over 20
trabajo
years
por
of assistance
5
to the
años de
city of Los
asistencia en
Angeles.
Los
And
Ángeles.
I see Dick
Y
Rudman
yo vi a
back
Dick
there,
Rudman
who's a
allá
great
atrás, que es un gran
engineer
ingeniero
from
de
KFWB Color Radio 98. If you remember that old radio station, retired, and he used to. But he's very involved
Pero
as
es
well
muy
as all
envuelto
of you.
también
And
con todos
Ellis,
ustedes.
if you would say a
Ellis,
few
si puede
words
decir
before I
algunas
make the
palabras
formal
antes de que haga la
presentation, I'd
presentación
like to ask your
formal, me
president to speak
gustaría
as well.
presentar hablar también.
Thank you, Councilman.
Muchas
And members
gracias,
of
Presidente.
City
Miembros
Council,
del
never
Consejo
before in our
nunca antes
history has
y
it
en la
been
historia ha sido
so evident the need for
evidente la necesidad de
collaboration and
colaboración
partnership
y
with our
asociación
business and
con
industry. I think we all
en
realize that
negocios y industria.
when we
Yo
have
me
a
doy cuenta de
disaster,
cuando
our
tenemos un
community
desastre,
cannot
nuestra
recover,
comunidad no
the
puede
businesses has
recuperarse,
not
los negocios no se
recovered. And
recuperan.
BICEP has been a
El
linchpin in making
Conejo
sure
ha
that the
sido
city of Los
el hecho
Angeles
de
is
Los
one of the
Ángeles
best
es uno de los
prepared
mejores
cities in
preparados
the
de la
nation.
ciudad de la
And
nación.
it's a tribute
Y es un
that it was
tributo que
recognized
fue
20 years
reconocido
ago
20
by
años por
the then Mayor Bradley.
alcalde
And
que
it's a very
entonces, Bradley.
active organization
Es
at
una
this
asociación
time. And
muy
I would
activa ahí en ese
also
ambiente.
like to
Entonces
turn
me
it over
gustaría
to Kelly
voltear un poco al
Shivertaker
Kelly
to say a
Shiver
word
para
or
decir
two.
una
Kelly
palabra o
wants
dos.
you to introduce all
Y
your
quiere
members
decir que
for
a
us.
todos sus miembros.
On behalf of
Como
the Business
parte
and
de la
Industry
industria
Council
del
for
Concilio
Emergency
de
Planning and Preparedness, I'd like to
Preparación, me
thank
gustaría
you
dar las gracias
both for this
a
honor
los
and
dos
for the
es un honor y
continuing
para el
support that you
soporte
provide our
continuo que
organization.
provee nuestra organización.
The members that we
Los
have with
miembros que
us
tenemos
are
aquí con
Ellis
nosotros, ha
Stanley,
conocido a Ellen Stanley,
Richard Rudman,
Richard Rudman,
Lee Goldstein,
Lee Goldstein,
Bob Lee,
Bob Lee,
Levon Lund,
LeVar Lund,
Gertha Benson,
Bertha Benson,
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
And Girtha is with the
Y
county
Gertha
of
está
Los
con el
Angeles,
condado
and
de
it
Los
shows that good
Ángeles y es codicia
cooperation between the city and
entre la
county.
ciudad y el condado.
Laval is
La
water
Val
and
es
power retired, and
Lucifer
also proud to say that 2003 John Marshall High School Alumnus of the Year, which I'm very glad. He was all the Randy Aqueduct system for water and power. And Mr. Lee here was a great firefighter for sheriff for many, many years. And sheriffs did fight fires in communities too. But all of them worked together and they contributed greatly to this. But again, it's the message of the public-private partnership in the business community getting involved to educate the public for preparedness. We should live and enjoy our community, but also be prepared for any challenge that we may face. On behalf of Mayor Hahn and all the members of the City Council, we salute you today for 20 years of this great contribution to all of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Gracias.
You all can actually go around through there.
And finally, Mr.
Y
President
finalmente,
and members,
presidente, miembros.
we have an additional Hope
Tenemos
Coalition of
su coalición de
America that's
América.
being honored this
Que se
morning.
de
Mr.
nuestro
Stanley has been
Stanley
working
está
with
trabajando
them.
con ellos.
John Bryant is
John Bryan
here.
está aquí.
Hello.
Bueno, tenemos todos aquí.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Hope Coalition America is receiving a commendation today, and it is a Los Angeles National and Local Emergency Economic Response Initiative for Operation Hope, one of America's leading providers of economic empowerment tools and services. Hope Coalition America is registered with the U.S. Freedom Corps Volunteer Network to reach out and to get individuals to provide their professional expertise for others in this effort. The Hope Coalition America provides free, compassionate, financial, and economic counseling to workers, businesses, small, business large and small, affected by natural disasters or national emergencies.
por emergencias
The
nacionales.
Emergency Preparedness Department of the City of Los Angeles and Hope Coalition America see the need for comprehensive recovery program for all communities in the City of Los Angeles, and the Emergency Preparedness Department and Hope Coalition America recognize the need to cooperate and exchange for emergency management and information between government, private, and not-for-profit. I just want to salute you on behalf of the Council for all the work that you've done in our partnership
nuestra asociación.
John, I'd like to ask you
Ya
to
me
say a
gustaría que
few
dijera
words,
unas
and
palabras
Ellis
y
as well
Alex
here.
también.
It's a day that
Es un
we
día que nosotros
gather you here
nos
in the
juntamos
20th
aquí en el
anniversary of
20
one other
aniversario
organization
de
to
otra
salute
organización
you
para su
for
lado
what
ustedes
you've
por lo
done
que ustedes han
and
hecho.
bringing it together,
Que
because there's
traerlos juntos
no
porque
way
no hay
to
manera de
advance
avanzar
ourselves if we don't have
nosotros si no
hope.
tenemos
And there's
esperanza
no way
y no
to
hay
do it
manera para
today
hacerlo hoy.
in the world
En
without
el mundo sin
coalition.
una coalición.
And we live in the
Y
greatest
estamos en el más
country in
grande
the world,
país en el
that
mundo y eso
coalition
es la
America.
coalición
And
de
there may have been a
América.
political
Tenemos
statement in the
una
middle of that.
declaración
But
de
anyway,
eso, pero
John, please
John,
welcome.
por favor, bienvenido.
My honor to be
Yo
here.
no estoy
I'll
aquí.
adhere to my pastor, Reverend
Adhiero al
Murray's
pastor de Mary's.
dictum for public speaking,
Víctima
which is
de
be good, be quick,
hablar
and then
en
be
público
gone.
es más rápido de hablar y irse.
I want to
Yo
salute
quiero
the
saludar
leadership
al
of the city of
liderazgo de la
Los
ciudad de Los
Angeles.
Ángeles.
After 9/11, we had an office in One Liberty, which was destroyed when the towers came down. We opened it on August 21st. It closed, unfortunately, on September 11th. But it opened the door to a much greater vision. I flew to New York 20 times from September 12th to December 25th. And the mayor and the city of LA said, what about LA? We've lost 30,000 plus jobs here as the economic fallout from 9/11. So we set up shop here in Los Angeles, and SBC Communications and Hawthorne Savings and Wells Fargo Bank and Union Bank of California and Far East National Bank and a bunch of institutions said, let us use our volunteers to deal with the economic crisis that comes after the physical and the emotional crisis. We live in a capitalist country, but underneath that capitalism is economics. So we live in a democracy, but underneath that democracy is capitalism and economics. And so I believe as we go into the 21st century, you have embarked upon something and helped to launch something which is going to be historic. I'm proud to say today that FEMA last week, as a result of your leadership here in LA, has proclaimed Hope Coalition to be a national partner of the federal government and a new part of FEMA in the emergency response program. It is big news. I want to thank Susan Davis and Ellis Stanley and all of you for having the vision. In the next 2 months, we'll be doing an announcement with the federal government to bring Hope Coalition into the national program as the Red Cross was brought in decades ago. May God bless you.
Quiero presentar su coalición.
Yes, we have Susan Davis, who's on loan from State Farm Insurance, who's the executive director, done most of the hard work. I just come and say thank you. We've got Lance Trigg, who is our chief of staff for the entire organization, been with us 9 years. We've got Lupita Sanchez from SBC Communications, most of you already know her, former deputy mayor. We've got my confidant, Rachel Dawson, who's been with us for 11 years at Operation Hope. We were founded after the riots in LA, by the way, in 1992. We've got the chief financial officer for Operation Hope, Laura Nelson, and other staff members from Operation Hope, and the entire team who are here in the audience. I don't want to take up too much time for council, and I would like to now defer to Ellis.
Thank you. Again, Council, just as the CERT program that was started by LA Fire Department is now a national program, I think we are delighted that this effort got started here in Los Angeles, and as you just heard, will be a national program and a national effort. And for the first time in this country, after a disaster, we'll be able to do a quick and efficient economic triage. And it's thanks to Hope Coalition for this effort and this possibility. Thank you very much.
Before we dismiss
Antes
you,
de
we
que
want
les
to hear
demos de
from
alta, queremos oír del
Councilmembers
Garcetti y Grohl.
Thank you, Mr.
Señor
President.
Presidente,
Congratulations to all of you,
felicitaciones a todos
especially
ustedes.
to John, my friend,
Como dije, John, mi
for
amigo,
getting
por
that security is a spectrum
seguridad,
of
el
things.
espectro
It's
de
about
cosas.
first responders,
Es
it's about
primero
second
responder,
responders,
segundo
it's about
responder
third responders.
y tercero
Preparedness and
responder.
security
Preparación y
is about so
seguridad
many
es
things
como
that you
tantas
do
cosas que
with
ustedes
Operation
hacen
Hope every
Operación
single day
Hope
to make
todos
sure
los
that
días
people
para
have
estar seguro
economic
que la
security
gente
in their
tiene
own
seguridad
lives.
económica
But
en sus
after
vidas.
disaster too, making
Después
sure
de
that we
estar
plug that
seguro que
hole and
podamos
set the example here in
y
Los
poner un
Angeles.
ejemplo
We
aquí en Los
thank you and we're
Ángeles.
indebted to
Damos
you.
gracias y
All your
estamos
corporate
sentados con
partners are great
ustedes.
for stepping up.
Los
SBC, State Farm, thank you for what you guys are doing as well. Because I think as we look at a different change time here in the city and in this country, we have to understand that security is not just one thing, it is many things. It is social, it is physical, but it is also economic and financial. And stepping up to make sure that Los Angeles is at the forefront once again of preparedness, we're indebted to you for that. So congratulations.
Muchas gracias.
Councilmember Gruhl.
Consejera Grohl.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to echo comments from Councilmember Garcetti and the coalition here, and I've had the pleasure of working with John Bryant for years on a number of projects when he was first starting, and what accomplishments you have had in the last several years, and your role in supporting the city in our emergency preparedness, which is really critical, and your partners that are standing with you. So I just wanted to congratulate you and thank you all for your hard work and participation in this program and leadership on this issue.
Thank you very much.
Muchas
Thank you,
gracias,
members of
muchos miembros
council.
del
Thank you.
Concilio.
Big hand for
Gracias,
Hope
un
Coalition
aplauso para la
America.
Organización Coalición de Espera.
I want to also thank
Tengo
Faye
que
Coleman.
darle
I
gracias a
didn't
Faye
mention her
Coleman, no
name.
le
She
mencioné su
runs
nombre,
the
ella corre
Santa
oficina,
Barbara.
no podemos dejarla.
We're going to take a picture in the back. Mr. President, finally,
Presidente,
and I thank
finalmente,
the
y le doy
council's
al Concilio
attention to this here.
atención a
Last
esto.
Saturday
El
morning, there
sábado
was a
sábado en la
very
mañana
unusual call that came
una
out
llamada
from
muy
one of our
inusual
city
que vino de un
departments.
departamento
And
de
I'd
la
like to
ciudad.
ask
Me
the
gustaría
fine team,
pedir al
Denise, lead up
grupo
the
de
fine
Elias que
team for the
venga
Los Angeles Zoo
del
here to
zoológico
the
de Los
podium in
Ángeles que
council
lo
chambers.
ponen.
Last Saturday
El
morning,
sábado pasado en la mañana,
at about 7
como a
o'clock
las
in the
7 de la
morning,
mañana,
the Los Angeles Zoo
el zoológico de
discovered
Los Ángeles descubrió
something that caused
algo
them
que
great
causó
concern.
gran
One of the
preocupación. Uno
elephants
de los elefantes
had slipped in the pond.
se había
Well, the
resbalado
elephant's tie
luego
was disabled
cuando estuvo
and in a
incapacitado el
pond.
elefante en
And their first call that they made was the Los
y
Angeles City
fue con
Fire
el departamento
Department.
de
And
bomberos.
I'd like to
Me
ask that
gustaría
the fire
pedir que el
department
departamento de
representatives
bomberos
come up,
representantes vengan.
representing the chief engineer,
Presidente,
Chief
jefe
Manning,
ingeniero, Chief
like
Manning,
to ask Heavy
el
Rescue
Heavy Rescue
56,
56, Stretch.
Okay. Greg Wall, come on out here. Come on, Stretch out there.
Venga,
Firehouse.
Stretch,
And Captain Trejo, the engine,
Trejo,
will you come on out here,
para que
please?
venga para acá para adelante.
Brian Nishimura from
Brian
the
Nishimura,
Los Angeles Firefighters Union, we thank you
le doy las
for being here
gracias por estar
today.
aquí.
But that call, and Chief
Esa
Franco
llamada,
coming out here
Jefe
for the fire
Franco,
chief's
para
office.
la
That
oficina
call at
de-
7 a.m. in
esa
the
llamada a las
morning
7 de la mañana
was one of the
fue
calls
una de
that
las llamadas que
came out to help
vino a
another city
ayudar a otro
department with a
departamento
very
de la ciudad
unique
que
situation.
situación muy
And our
única
Los
y que
Angeles City
nuestro
Fire
departamento
Department
de
has the
bomberos nomás tiene el
apparatus
aparato
to do everything.
para hacer todo.
And Heavy Rescue 56 is located at Engine 56 in the Silver Lake District, in the 4th District, works throughout all your
trabaja por todos
districts.
sus
It may be in
distritos,
San
a lo mejor está
Pedro
en San Pedro,
at some special interest,
él ganó un
at some
interés
special
especial
incident on the
incidente
cliffs of Palos Verdes,
de
or it may be in
Palos Verdes,
Chatsworth, or it
o
may be in the
Chatsworth,
West
o
Valley
en
or
el
West
West
Los
Valley,
Angeles.
Los
But they're
Ángeles,
all
pero
throughout
estos
the
están
city.
por
And this
toda la
time,
ciudad
that
y
7
esta
a.m.
vez fue a las
call
7 de la
came
mañana
out to the zoo.
vino al zoológico.
And I would like to ask that
gustaría
our
pedir que
assistant zoo director,
el director
Denise Barrett, to
Denise
come
Barrett, to come
and tell us a
y
little
nos diga un
about what
poquito
the
acerca
zoo
de
saw
lo que el
that
zoológico vio
morning
esa mañana
and what the fire
y
department
lo que el
did.
departamento hizo.
Well, like
de
Tom said,
bomberos.
good morning,
Buenos
council
días,
members. It's like the worst
concilios
phone call
como
that
la
you want to
peor
get at
llamada
7
que
o'clock
pueden
in the
agarrar a las 7 de la
morning,
mañana.
that an 8,000-pound elephant
800
has fallen. It's very
libras de
difficult for them to
elefante
get
que
up.
cayó, es difícil de
It was a total team
Era un
effort. We have an
equipo
incredible
del equipo.
elephant keeper staff, as well as our
Tenemos un equipo,
veterinarian,
los veterinarios,
security, and the
seguridad,
fire department was just
departamento de bomberos.
absolutely
Fue
incredible.
absolutamente
They
increíble.
were there within
Estuvieron
minutes
ahí en
with the
minutos.
appropriate equipment and just got right down to business and knew exactly what they were doing, and they were
Saben lo
able
que
to
estaban haciendo y
rescue
pudieron
Tara the
rescatar a
elephant. It's
Tara.
very difficult and very
Dificultoso,
dangerous for
muy
animals to be
peligroso
down
para
for any
haberse
extended
caído por
period of
cualquier
time,
periodo
and
de
they
tiempo.
were
Les
just
fueron
absolutely
absolutamente
the best. It was a
los
total team
mejores, fue
effort,
un
and we
equipo de
are
total,
very,
y
very
estamos muy,
fortunate to
muy
have this type
afortunados de
of fire
tener esta
department in the
clase de
city of Los
bomberos en la ciudad de
Angeles.
Los Ángeles.
So we thank you,
Les
and we
damos
appreciate the
gracias, apreciamos
recognition.
el reconocimiento.
Denise, thank you. And
Bueno,
at this
Denise,
time, I
mucho
just
este
asked
tiempo
our
más
great
quiero añadir
technicians
al
from
técnicos de
ITA to roll the tape to
que
see
pone
some
el
of the
tape para
tape
ver
of the
alguno del
actual
tape del
incident
incidente en sí
of last
del
Saturday
sábado pasado.
and the drama that
El
unfolded
drama
at the
que
Los
se
Angeles
desvolvió
Zoo
en el zoológico de
when a
Los
call
Ángeles.
came out that
Cuando vino
Tara
llamada a Tara,
needed help.
estaba ahí.
Please view the monitors. This is Roxanne Losi, who's going to do a little audio over the audio. Zookeeper girl.
Here they were, we were putting some webbings around her. Their initial idea was to pull her out of the pond. And their new equipment, that was a wonderful piece of equipment, by the way, was able to pull her out. And well, we had to remove her rocks. She'd gotten her tusk when we were pulling her stuck between two rocks, which would have been very dangerous. Not only that her tusk could have been broken, but an infection could have ensued after that. So that was, she's 41. which is they live to in their 60s. They can live up to their 80s in captivity, but it's more around 60s. So she's about middle age, but she does have some arthritis. So it was extremely, it would have been impossible for her to get up on her own. So at this point, they did lift her, so we didn't have to drag her. Then the city vehicle came in. Tom Lovello, who wasn't here today, who did a wonderful job as well. He's operating the little crane. It's just our own city vehicle. She's actually trying to help us at this point. She was actually very calm. This apparently happened to her about 3 years ago, and I really do believe she kind of knew what she was in for this time around, so she was much more calm and helping us. You can see she's trying to help us out. That's the webbing. They got all of the crane off, but the webbing, of course, was still wrapped around her, a little bit of chain. You'll see Jeff Briscoe and Scott Hayes, the other elephant keepers, pulling it off of her. And she's really, truly being very cooperative at this point. It was a very good thing to see her standing on her own.
Es bueno verla parada por sí sola.
Yes.
Oh, what happens? Watch this here. She's feeling fine. Going after a keeper. All right. Good. Hey, Mr. President, watch that. See, this is from one zoo to another. See how he took off the car.
She was trying to say thank you, that's all.
Well, thank you. That is wonderful. And I thank all of you there. Chief Manning is here, representing Fire Chief Pamatri. I'd like to ask Chief Manning, the Chief of Staff for the greatest fire department in the world, to say a few words.
Thank you, Council. It's a great honor today to represent the fire department, and truly these members of Fire Station 56 as well as Heavy Rescue 56. As stated, Heavy Rescue 56 is the elite rescue unit of the Los Angeles City Fire Department. Now, this is the same team that was also dispatched to New York on 9/11 to assist with 12 days of rescue efforts. A very elite group. It's one of these things, they go to these rescues and they do it quite freely. The most difficult part of my job is getting them to come to council for recognition because they all feel that it's just part of our job, it's what we do. But another part of their job besides rescuing Tara that day was within 2 hours. Same team was dispatched to a near amputation, where a man in the Highland Park area, his arm was in a tortilla machine, tore up and was truly to be amputated. And this elite rescue team did not step in, use their technical expertise, and more importantly, their initiative and their innovative minds in order to free his arm and save his arm today. So once again, I want to thank you for recognizing our people. They're truly deserving. And this was just another example of city services and city agencies working together as we did well with the zoo personnel today. And thank you.
Chief, thank you. I'd like to call upon Captain Trejo of Engine 56 to step forward here to introduce his crew.
I'd like to take a moment to thank the council for the recognition that you're extending to Heavy Rescue 56 and Engine 56. I'd like to introduce the members. From Heavy Rescue 56, we have apparatus operator Domingo Alvaron.
The big hero that day.
And his partner in the back, firefighter Greg Grewal. From Engine 56, we have firefighter Rick Larson, firefighter paramedic. We also have firefighter John Lang standing in the back. And here with us today representing the union is Brian Ishimura. Thank you very much.
Denise, if you could, let's recognize the zoo staff all here today.
Absolutely. I have Laura Lamarca, she's our Director of Public Relations and Marketing, because it did get lots of media coverage, including national media. We have Roxanne Losi, she's a keeper in the Elephant Barn. We have Paul Lyles, who's in charge of our custodial staff. We have Tricia Kokoska, who's in charge of all of our volunteers, and Kristen Evans, who works in education.
Well, Denise, thank you. And I also want to thank Paul Lyles and all his crew, because if you haven't been to the zoo lately, they do an absolutely wonderful job maintaining the beauty of the zoo, keeping it clean and wonderful, and all the work that you do with the hardworking custodial staff. But to the keepers, who I know has special love, Roxanne, on behalf of the City Council, we want to salute you, each member of the team at the zoo who was there. I would like to present this to you and let you know how much we appreciate all the work you do 365 days a year, but also the special day that everybody rose to the occasion to help get back on their feet. Congratulations. Domingo, on behalf of the City Council, I want to salute you as the auto fireman on Heavy Rescue 56, who truly, as Chief Manning said, just a few hours later, was rescuing a worker who injured in an industrial accident, who's called everywhere throughout the city. This is truly part of a superstar team with the great support from the engine. Domingo, on behalf of the council, we salute you, Heavy Rescue 56, and members of council. Let's give them all a great big hand for all that they've done. We'll get one right here. He's the man. We're going to go in the back and take pictures. And Mr. President, I thank you, and council members, I thank you for allowing me to honor so many special people today on this day, Valentine's Day 2003. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, including our city clerks who dressed in red. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember LeBron. For our next presentation, the chair recognizes Councilmember Jan Perry.
Thanks very much, Mr. President. It's my pleasure to introduce the past and present chairs of the Committee for Smoke-Free Parks and Other Public Places. Since March 15, 2000, this committee has worked with the Los Angeles Recreation and Parks Department to develop and enact a smoke-free parks policy and then an ordinance. This committee is a consortium that was developed in October 1999 and is comprised of concerned, nonprofit, community-based organizations to create environments that protect young people from the hazardous effects caused by tobacco use at public parks and other public areas. The committee was responsible for assisting the City of Los Angeles Department of Recreation and Parks for gathering community support through surveys and petitions, gathering the research on smoke-free parks, making recreation and park staff aware of the need for smoke-free park zones, and developing ordinance language, and assisting in acquiring funds to purchase the signs to put in parks. They have played a significant role in making smoke-free zones happen in our city parks, and I want to thank them, and I believe today they are here to make a presentation on their own to our City Council.
Good morning, Mr. President and Council. My name is Kimberly Ta, and I work for ADAP. I'm a community organizer that's the Asian American Drug Abuse Program, but I'm also the chair of the Committee for Smoke-Free Parks and Public Places. And just to reiterate what Council Member Perry has said, we're an organization that is composed of community members and organizations committed to the health and safety of children and families in the county of Los Angeles. And On behalf of
Y
the
como
committee,
parte
I'd
del
like to
comité, me
commend
gustaría
the
comendar
council for
al
your
Concilio
leadership
por su liderazgo
and for
y por
your proactive
su
effort in terms
esfuerzo
of
proactivo en términos
enacting
de
and
enactar
this
y
policy
pasar esta
to create
policía en
smoke-free
crear
zones in the city of Los
zonas libres de
Angeles.
la ciudad de Los
Your
Ángeles.
effort
Su
has
esfuerzo
shown to your residents
enseñado a
and
los
also to other
residentes también a
cities
otras ciudades.
that this is an important
Esto es
public health issue
una cuestión
and
de salud importante.
to create the smoke-free zones in
Las
the
zonas
park.
soles.
And thank you very much.
Muchas
And
gracias.
I'm also going
Y
to
también voy
introduce
a
Sonia
presentar
Vasquez,
a
who's
Sonia
the
Vázquez,
past
que es
chair of the committee.
ex presidenta del comité.
Thank you. My name is
Gracias. Mi
Sonia
nombre es
Vasquez.
Sonia
I'm
Vázquez. Yo
the
soy
program director for the Girls
director
Club
del
of Los
programa de
Angeles.
Girls Club de
And
Los
my name is
Ángeles. Mi
Kevin
nombre es
Weiler. I am the
Kevin
program
Weiler. Yo soy el
director at
director del
Valley
programa
Community
del
Clinic
Valle
in North
Clínica del
Hollywood.
Valle de North Hollywood.
We are both previous
Los dos
chairs and
somos
founders
y
of the Committee for
fundadores del
Smoke-Free
Comité
Parks and
para
Other
Parques
Public
Fundadores.
Places.
Our agency, along with others throughout Los Angeles, worked very close with Recreation and Park staff to make smoke-free zones in Los Angeles a reality.
And we are here today to officially honor Jan Perry and all council for creating outdoor environments where tobacco use is viewed as unacceptable and where children and their families are safe from the hazards of tobacco and secondhand smoke.
So on behalf of the Girls Club of Los Angeles, Valley Community Clinic, and the many agencies that represent the Committee for Smoke-Free Parks, we would like to present the City of Los Angeles with this Healthy Kids Leadership Award for protecting park patrons from the hazards of tobacco by creating smoke-free parks ordinance.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Muchas
The chair
gracias.
now
La silla
recognizes
reconoce
Councilman
al
Padilla.
concejal Padilla.
Where do you see it?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're doing, hang back for a second, we're gonna do, yeah, sorry, I looked at myself and okay, you know.
Apologize for the confusion up here. I actually have two presentations. I want to make sure we're giving the right resolution to the right group. And I'm glad to have Councilmember Jan Perry join me in this presentation. Councilmember Holden wanted to join us as well, but he's still home ill. Thank you. There we are. Our representatives are here from both IBM and Career Communications Group as we recognize the 4th annual Black Family Technology Awareness Week. I think it's particularly important to not only highlight technology, but also to recognize some of the activities that the private sector and community-based organizations are doing in partnership to bring about awareness, to bring about opportunities, particularly for communities of color. So when it comes to access to technology, as we all know, the last 5-10 years alone has really revolutionized every aspect of our daily life when it relates to technology. We can no longer go grocery shopping the same way. You can't access your money the same way. Technology is impacting not only how we communicate, but every element of our daily life. And so from a quality of life standpoint, from an education, an opportunity standpoint, from a career and professional opportunity standpoint, it's so important to bridge the digital divide for all communities. And we wanted to take this opportunity to highlight this week and all the great efforts that IBM and Career Communications Group are doing in bringing the Black Family Technology Awareness Week activities to the city of Los Angeles, and we want to give them an opportunity to speak and share a little bit more about their efforts. But I did want to mention that as part of the 2003 lineup, activities are scheduled at several Los Angeles high schools, including Los Angeles High, Westchester, Dorsey, Crenshaw, Fairfax, Inglewood, Washington, Locke, and the Puente Learning Center. So I'm excited to have representatives here today to speak, but before we do that, let's hear from Councilmember Jan Perry.
Thank you, Council President. I believe that it is essential that all communities gain access and have a competitive knowledge of our technology today and for the future. It's only through this sort of knowledge and understanding that we can ensure that all the people we represent will have the skills to be able to compete in the job market and move onward and upward in their quality of life. For this reason, this program, the Black Family Technology Awareness Week, is so very important. It is in its 4th year and promotes the value of technology and its importance in educating children for future careers that rely heavily on technology. This is particularly poignant this month as we join in celebrating Black History Month and begin making some history of our own by supporting the efforts of this group. I want to join Council President Padilla and also Councilmember Holden in commending and thanking both IBM and career communication groups for making this possible. Your work helps our jobs become much more fulfilling as we move forward in empowering the residents of our city. And thank you so much for helping all of us bridge the digital divide.
Thank you, Councilmember Perry. Now, neither of the beautiful ladies behind me looks like Gabriel Brown from IBM, but we do have representatives from IBM and the Communications Group.
Good morning, and thank you very much. On behalf of IBM and Bill Brown, who unfortunately was not able to be here today, we want to thank you. It is our pleasure to be here this morning because we've spent the week performing a number of activities around the city in celebration of IBM's National Black Family Technology Awareness Week. And the focus is to bring attention to the digital divide, which exists amongst a number of our students, in particular Black students, who have not always had the benefits of the computer knowledge and the understanding of the value of technology. We hold a similar event in October for the Hispanic community called La Familia, so we'll be doing this again in the fall. So we've gone to 9 different schools, as was cited earlier, and we went to the Prente Center, and we discussed and demoed the state-of-the-art technology. We call it pervasive technology. So the students saw and heard about the technology that will be in the homes of the future, and they were very excited about it, and we were happy that they were enthusiastic about it because we want to send the message that it is important for them to focus on preparing for the future of this type, in that they need to stay in school, they need to consider college, and perhaps someday take on the jobs of the computer specialists, the graphic designers, the technicians of tomorrow. So again, thank you so much.
Council, I'm just part of the committee, and it has been a pleasure to work with the community, to work with the schools and the students. And over the past few years, we've gained the support of the community. The children have been, the students have been very enthused about the program. We've had follow-on activities, which include a mentor program where we actually engage with students via email on a daily basis. And just representing IBM and our full team, thank you for giving us this opportunity to express our appreciation and gratitude in the program.
So now let me present this resolution on behalf of the entire City Council, the Mayor, hereby recognizing Black Family Technology Awareness Week for its commitment and dedication to preparing and educating Black children for future careers in technology. And please pass along our regards to Bill and Pamela Cherry.
And before you leave, we will hear from Councilmember Ed Reyes.
Thank you, Council President, Councilmember Perry. I want to just take this moment to thank IBM. I would hope that other companies, as start going through this new economy of information technology, pay attention to what you're doing. The fact that you're setting an example of dealing with this great divide we have. We look at our dropout rates, we look at the pressures our youth have, the fact that many families are going into single-family households, a lot of pressures that are upon our youth.
Muchas personas en nuestra juventud tener esa exposición es muy importante. Pero las gracias por eso y espero que otras compañías y corporaciones que entonces tomar ventaja de nuestras comunidades y tomar nuestro lo reinviertan y desarrollar esta clase de programas de soporte que son tan importantes. Muchas gracias. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If we can
Gracias.
indulge,
Podemos indulgar
Councilmember
al
Perry, if you want to join me on the next presentation as
la
well.
presentación también.
And I think it's timely.
Creo que
You just thanked IBM for
gracias a
their great
IBM por
work
su gran
in
trabajo
bringing about
y traer a
technology,
tecnología y
education, and
educación.
awareness. And speaking of
Y también
technology,
hablando de tecnología,
this week is
esta
also
semana también
National
es
Engineers Week.
la
We've
semana
been
de
celebrating this in
ingenieros
the
de naciones,
past, and
hemos
this
celebrado
year,
este año y este año,
February
febrero
16th through the
16 hasta el
22nd, this
22
upcoming
de
week,
esta semana,
will be
va a
National
ser
Engineers Week, and the theme
Día
for this year
Nacional de
is turning
Ingenieros y la
ideas into
última esas
reality.
ideas entre
So we have
realidad.
a few
Entonces tenemos
folks
unas cuantas
here
gentes aquí
as part of the
como parte
celebration.
de la
In a
celebración.
moment, I
En
want
un
to
momento quiero
introduce and
presentar y
acknowledge
reconocer
our city
a
engineer,
nuestro
Vic
ingeniero de nación, Vic
Troyan,
Troyan,
and welcome
y
Ed
darle
Ahrens,
la
president of the
bienvenida al
Institute for
presidente
the
del Instituto
Advancement of
para el
Engineering, along with Paul
Advenimiento de
Willis,
Paul Willis,
president of the Los Angeles
presidente del
Council
Concilio de
for
los
Engineering
Ingenieros
Sciences, and an
Científicos.
announcement
Y
for
un
those
anuncio
who have
para
been
esos
involved
que están
before and
envueltos
those who may want to be
anteriormente y
involved
quieren
this
estar
year.
envueltos este año.
The third annual
El tercer
regional
anual
bridge building
regional
contest will be held
Bridge va a
February
ser este
19th
febrero
at the
19 en
University
la
of Southern
Universidad del Sur de
California.
California.
But first,
Pero
before I
primero, antes de que
present
presente
this certificate
este
and
certificado
resolution,
en
let me
resolución,
call for Vic
déjeme dar para adelante a Troy,
Councilmember Perry, to be
Councilmember
followed by
Perry,
Vic Troyan, our
por
city
Vic Troyan,
engineer.
nuestro
And I think
ingeniero de
together,
nación, y
we
juntos
want to thank them
dar
for
las
the great work
gracias
that
por
they
el
do,
gran
keeping our
trabajo que
projects
hace
on
nuestro
time, in
proyecto
our
en
budget,
tiempo y
and delivering those
presupuesto de
libraries,
entregar
those fire
esos
stations, those
bomberos, esos
bridges, and all the
puentes y
capital
todos
projects
los
throughout the city.
proyectos capitales de la ciudad.
Thank you very much,
Muchas
Mr.
gracias,
President. I just
Yo
want to
nomás
say a
quiero
few good
decir
words
algunas
about
palabras
the engineers
sobre los
who
ingenieros
work with us on a daily basis as chair for the Committee on Public Works. I have firsthand knowledge about the many times that the city engineer and his capable staff have saved many a project. Council President was correct, on time and under budget, or on time and on budget. Because of the work that you do and have done, you maintain and in many cases restore the confidence that the voters of the city of Los Angeles have when they vote for a bond measure and things actually go the way that they are supposed to go. I've come to rely very heavily on your department to make sure that our projects get built and that they get built in a way that meets our budget guidelines and fulfills a community need. So not only are you engineers, you're helping us meet our policy objectives and to improve the quality of people's lives. And so I would like to say thank you. You're well deserving of this and many more recognitions in the future.
And I heard somebody say Happy Valentine's Day. Mr. President, Councilman Perry, members of the council, thank you for allowing us to come here today and kick off Engineers Week. This is turning ideas into reality, and that's what we at the Bureau of Engineering do. You call us up with an idea, we go out, convert it to plans and specifications, put it out to bid, and actually build the project for you. But it's also interesting that we're following the speakers who were talking about technology. Because we at the Bureau of Engineering, along with many other city agencies, sponsor 10 different contests to encourage young people to participate in engineering. I'll leave copies of these brochures with you. No, you're not eligible to compete. You've already graduated from high school. But we have a whole bunch of high schools coming to USC next Wednesday to participate in a bridge building contest. And we also do catapult contests, mousetrap racing contests, whatever kind of contest will challenge a high school student and make him think about technology as a future career. At this point, I'd like to introduce Ed Ahrens. Do you want to do that? President of the Institute for the Advancement of Engineering. I'd like to say a few words.
Engineers Week is a time when we try to recognize contributions of engineers to society at large. This year we're giving 3 projects, achievement awards to the Bureau of Engineering in Los Angeles, the Terminal Island, the Terminal Island Advanced Wastewater Treatment Facility, the Real-Time Capital Improvement Project, Geocode, the Woodvale Storm Drain Rehabilitation. In addition, we're giving 2 awards for new outstanding engineers from several individuals from the Bureau of Engineering, Julie Allen and Ruben Rosales. On behalf of the Institute for Advancement of Engineering and our 4 member organizations, the Los Angeles Council of Engineers and Scientists, the Orange County Engineering Council, the San Fernando Valley Engineers Council, and the Consulting Engineers and Land Surveyors of California, I'd like to say thank you for the city's recognition of Engineers Week.
Thank you, Ed. You all know Julie. Julie got the above-ground facility legislation through council and through lots and lots of approval processes. And you'll be pleased to know that once again, Los Angeles is a leader, because as soon as this council passed that legislation, we received, how many? We received 30 or 40 requests for the legislation from other cities who are facing the same challenge. In addition, Ruben Rosales. Ruben developed a 3-dimensional computer-assisted drafting program for us, so that now, when we're building things like the North Valley Grade Separation Project or the Santa Monica Project, we can actually build the project on a computer screen first and take that out to the community and show the community how the finished product will look. And that helps an awful lot in getting approval from the public and buy-in from the public. So Ruben and Julie, thank you very much for your participation. And thank you to all the folks from the Bureau of Engineering and others who are behind me.
Thank you. Before you leave again, I'd like to recognize Councilmember Reyes.
Just full of thank yous this morning. The engineers went to Lincoln High School, and they had a competition. And they were talking about assembling a catapult and the precision of launching an object from one point to point A to point B. And all the high schools that were there, it was incredible. The creativity, the energy. This is the kind of stuff, the kind of diversion we need for young folks. Again, to keep them on a track that's healthy for everyone. So thank you for your time. There's a lot of goodwill, a lot of good heart from a lot of the adults, the engineers, and it was very inspiring. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I'd like to mention, recognize Councilmember LaBonge in the wrong place, but nevertheless.
Maybe in the wrong place, but I'm at the right time to salute our engineers, because I can't tell you how many times they've helped us bridge the gap anywhere it is. And the work you're doing at the observatory, at fire stations, and libraries. How many of you worked on libraries? You know, the under budget, on time, Susan Goldberg, Kent, the library department, you and the engineering bureau. What a great story. But I just want to salute the engineers, because so much that I love about this city is what is here and our bridges. And our bridges which you care for. 512 bridges in the city of Los Angeles, and the great bridges that Merrill Butler has done, and the work that has been done since by you, Vic, and your team, and Clark Robbins, and everybody down the line. It's just so important, because it does affect the constituency and the community, and they do speak to the love of these bridges and the work in your district. Ed, you spoke about Lincoln High, and I love Lincoln High because I had my best game at Lincoln High. But when you come down from Lincoln High on North Broadway, you cross the Buena Vista Bridge, the Broadway Bridge, and the work to restore that, it wasn't easy to do. It's great. And I encourage all people to cross the bridges and enjoy and love the city of Los Angeles. Thanks to all the engineers who helped make it happen and build this city.
Madam Chair, now formally be it resolved that by adoption of this resolution, the Los Angeles City Council, along with the mayor, the city attorney, and the city controller, hereby declare February 16th through 22nd, 2003 as National Engineers Week in the city of Los Angeles.
En la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Do we have any more presentations? We have no more presentations.
Ya no tenemos más presentes. Muchas
Thank you. Those are great presentations this morning. Really some wonderful things happening in our city, and I want to thank the council members who chose to honor those this morning that certainly do deserve our recognition and honor. Thank you. Madam Clerk, next
Secretaria,
item.
por próximo asunto.
The roll needs to be called. Bernstein, Galanter, Garcetti, Gruel, Han, Holden, Labange, Miskowski, Pacheco, Perry, Reyes, Weinstein, Padilla. 10 members
10
present and a
presentes y un quórum.
Madam President.
Señor presidente.
Next item.
Próximo
Approval
asunto.
of the minutes.
Aprobación de los minutos.
Councilmember
Member
Gruel
Councilor Gruel,
moves. Councilmember
concejal
Garcetti
la
seconds.
segunda.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Para aprobación.
Councilmember Perry moves. Councilmember Labange seconds.
On the regular agenda, Madam President, items for which public hearings have been held, items 1 through 7.
Okay, we have cards on item 1 and 4, so we'll call those special.
especiales.
Okay.
On the other ones, we do not have any cards, so at this time we'll close the public hearing on those items.
Okay. And
Any specials,
Algunos especiales.
colleagues?
Colegas.
items 1 through 7.
1 al 7.
We have items 1 through 7
Tenemos
before
1 al
us.
7 enfrente de nosotros.
Open the roll.
Ábrese la lista.
Close the roll.
Ciérrese la lista.
Tabulate the vote,
Tabúlese el voto,
please.
por favor.
10 ayes.
10 sí.
Those are approved.
Están aprobados.
Next items,
Ahora,
Madam
por asuntos,
President,
señor
items for which
presidente,
public hearings have not been
pública no
held,
se han
items
hecho,
8 through
asuntos del 8 al
17.
17.
Yes, Councilmember Gruel.
Concejal Gruel.
Item number
Asunto
16
número
for
16
Councilmember
para
Hahn,
el
special.
concejal especial.
Thank you. Any other
¿Algún
specials?
otro especial?
Councilmember Garcetti.
Señor Garcetti.
There's a technical
Hay
amendment
un
to
amendimiento
14.
técnico para el
We can hold
14.
that as
Podemos
special
detener
too.
eso especial también.
Okay. Item 15, called special
Asunto
by
15 por el
Councilmember
concejal
Pacheco.
Pacheco.
Item 10, we also have
Asunto
cards, and we'll
tenemos
call that
tarjetas, van
special
a
as
llamar
well.
especial también.
Any other specials?
¿Algún otro especial?
All right, let's open the roll on the balance of
En
the
el
items.
balance de los asuntos.
Close the roll.
Ciérrese la lista.
Tabulate the
Establece el
vote,
voto,
please.
por favor.
10 ayes.
10 sí.
Those items are
Asuntos
approved.
están aprobados.
Going back to the items
Regresándose al
called
asunto,
special,
llama
item
especial.
number 1
Asunto
was called
número 1
special for a
especial
card from the
para
public.
tarjeta del público.
We will call forward
Vamos para adelante.
Jay Handel.
Jen Handel.
All three of these? And John Stoddard will
John
also be
Stoddard también va a
called,
ser llamado.
and Brian
Y
Fitzgerald.
Brian
Those
Fitzgerald.
three.
Esos tres.
Yes, good morning. My name
Buenos
is Jay
días,
Handel. I'm the
Handel. Yo
president
soy
of the West LA
presidente del
Chamber
West
of
LA
Commerce. I am also a
También soy
17-year business member
de negocios de
in
17 años
Brentwood
en
and
Brentwood,
down in Culver City.
en Culver City.
I come today because we
Vengo
saw
hoy
the
porque
chamber
vimos
saw the
en la
item on the
Cámara
agenda
de
about
la
the
LACBB.
For those of you who
Por
have
eso
not
es
read
que
your
no han
emails or seen
leído su
information that's come out
correo y
from
la
us,
información que ha salido de
the West
nosotros.
LA Chamber
La
has
Cámara de
started
Comercio de
back
West
in
LA ha empezado en noviembre
an exploratory committee, which is now an organizational committee, to start
para
its
empezar
West
su
Side CVB for the West Los Angeles
para el
area.
área del oeste de Los
We come to you
Ángeles.
today because
Venimos hoy aquí
this
porque esta
organizational committee that we
comité
have
que tenemos
has the following
tiene las siguientes
organizations in its committee
organizaciones en su
itself.
comité en sí.
The W
El
Hotel,
W
the
Hotel,
Band Theater Groups,
los
the Bonaventure,
el
the
Bonaventura,
Doubletree,
el
the
Doubletree,
California Restaurant
los restaurantes
Association,
de
the
asociaciones,
Daily Grill and
el
Grill
Daily Grill,
Concepts, the
el
Best
Conceptos,
Western,
el Best
Smith
Western,
Barney,
Smith
Action
Barney,
Realty,
Action
Crown
Realty,
Plaza,
Crown Plaza,
the Hotel Concierge
el Hotel
Association,
Concierge Association,
Shotzi, American Express Corp,
American
the
Express
Olympic
Corp,
Collection,
la colección
the
olímpica,
Base Rich Companies, the Lux
el
Hotels,
Hotel Lux,
of course the Chamber,
también la
and
Cámara.
we've got many
Hemos
other
tenido
members
muchos
on our
otros miembros en
organizational
nuestra
committee.
organización del comité.
We are very concerned.
Estamos muy preocupados.
I, as a business owner, the owner of San Gennaro Restaurant in Brentwood, we have been extremely concerned about dealing with the LACBB. I had a meeting with Mr. Kirkland in my office on the west side to talk about what I see here in your items, and that is asking him to remodel the program and to try and do outreach to the local community, not just to the overseas community. I was told we don't have the staff, that's not our charge, that's not what we're to do. We are very concerned about the model of the LACBB. It hasn't worked. My restaurant was the first restaurant outside the Getty. I never saw a bid sheet. I never had information in the time that I was was a member of the LACVB. It didn't work, it hasn't worked, and based on this round table of people you see in this consortium here, it doesn't work for a lot of different avenues of the consumer market and the tourist market. So my question really comes back, I have two questions. One is a technical question that I hope staff can get back to me at some point. You will direct the city attorney. If tax dollars are being used upwards of $16 million in TOT, in non-discretionary funds, does that make the LACVB more responsible in open meetings in the Brown Act? Because this is our tax dollars being spent. And I guess the second real question is, are we band-aiding the hemophiliac? I know you heard that at my last meeting, Eric. But, you know, the reality is, what are we doing here? We don't have the tourism, we don't have the room counts, we don't have the mini boutiques, we have a tremendous drop in the people that are coming, and we're not spreading them out to everybody around the city.
Thank you. We're going to ask you to wrap it up.
I ask you to look much closer and much more in depth because it doesn't work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now call John Stoddard.
John Stoddard, representing the Los Angeles Convention Visitors Bureau Board of Directors and the Wilshire Grand Hotel, second largest hotel in downtown Los Angeles. I do not believe that it makes sense to divert tax money directly to the Bureau to serve the best interest of a small group of people. The money needs to be focused on serving the Convention Visitors Bureau that's presently in place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
We'll now call Brian Fitzgerald.
Good morning. My name is Brian Fitzgerald. I'm the general manager of the Westin Bonaventure Hotel, and I represent just the hotel and the 700 associates who work at the hotel. Since 1999, this hotel has been trying to bring to light the difficulties and the challenges that we saw on the horizon well before the tragic events of September 11th. We identified the bookings were suspect. We identified that many of the clients that CVB said were coming to Los Angeles were in fact didn't know they were coming. And I draw your attention to the fact that we are now proposing to negotiate once again with the same entity that brought us the disastrous cancellations of over 94 conventions, representing over 1.4 million room nights. Part of an agreement is to be able to trust your partner in that agreement. Based on my history, my personal history with dealing with the CVB, we've tried to do everything possible to open up the dialogue, but have been blunted at every task. At this point, the CVB is no longer representing the largest hotel in Los Angeles because we have suspended our dues. It's a tragic event for Los Angeles. It's a great destination. We need people selling the destination that believe in it as much as we do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. This concludes public hearing on this item. Any members wishing to be heard on this item, the chair recognizes Councilmember Perry.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. This is an issue that is needs to be addressed, and this is a really timely way to do this as we are about to enter into contract negotiations with the Bureau as we near the end of our fiscal year. I would like to ask if the CLA could come to the front table and give us just an overview on the findings and recommendations of this report so that we can have some sense of the next steps that we need to take.
Well, very briefly, the report has a variety of recommendations and essentially kicks off the negotiations between the city and the Bureau. There are several issues dealing with accountability, and the motion, item 1A, which Councilmember Perry introduced, adds the CLA to the negotiating team and establishes some process as well. It provides a structure and a framework for getting input from the hotel community on what the Bureau contract
contract should look like. It also, two meetings are complicated, one early on to get feedback on sort of the scope of the negotiation issues, and then near the end of the process to get feedback on the contract as it's becoming more finalized. Finally, there's an instruction report back on looking at restructuring issues of the Bureau itself to provide tourism stakeholders and elected officials in the community with meaningful input into marketing the city of LA.
Are you done? Okay. Chair recognizes Councilmember Grewal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And we heard this item in the Audit and Government Efficiency a couple weeks ago, maybe it was almost a month ago, and outlined some of the issues that I think we need to address with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and received positive response from the Convention and Visitors Bureau on many of the action items recommended by the Controller. I also talked about the importance from those of us that represent the San Fernando Valley, ensuring that there was appropriate attention given as well as we market Los Angeles, that we look at all parts. And I appreciate the gentleman who came and spoke from West Los Angeles, that I believe that the Convention and Visitors Bureau are open to some of these ideas and challenges that they face. It is our opportunity now during the negotiation phase for that contract to address some of the issues we have and concerns. So I just want my colleagues to know that we had a good debate and dialogue in the Audit and Government Efficiency Committee, and that this is going to continue to be an issue that is before our City Council in renegotiating that contract. So we can reach our ultimate goal, which is to have more conventions here in Los Angeles and more tourists that are going to help bring our economic base up, create more jobs, and allow us to, I think, shine for the world how important Los Angeles is and how great it is for them to come visit. Go to San Pedro, to Pacoima, to East and West Los Angeles and South Central and the San Fernando Valley. So I just want you all to know that our work has just begun, and that I appreciate the Convention and Visitors Bureau willingness to make some of the changes outlined in the Controller's audit.
Thank you, Councilmember Grewal. The Chair recognizes Councilmember Reyes.
Thank you, Council President. I understand in the report where you're asking for an audit, an independent audit of what's happening in this particular facility. The audit would allow us to break down how they're conducting business, what strategies are in place. Can you describe a little bit what's being expected from the audit?
Well, again, the controller did produce the audit that was heard in Audits and GE. There were a variety of recommendations. I believe the controller may be here to address some of those specifically, but some of those will then fall into or be folded up into the negotiations of the new contract with the Bureau to work in issues such as accountability and work in marketing issues and targeting what's being marketed and where, et cetera. So the action before you is actually the kickoff action in instructing that the negotiations on the new contract begin.
It just strikes me that when we look at who uses the convention center and how we approach our markets, that we emphasize the diversity of our city and looking at markets that are beyond just your conventional, traditional, mainstream approaches, which deals with looking to the East Coast and looking at the national setting. But I recall at the time when I was working with the previous administration, that it was a hard time to get the convention to work with us, to work with the Central American countries, putting a convention together. It was a learning experience for them. And it became obvious that we don't have a way to communicate with other countries that don't speak English and enhance that presence in those countries. And granted, it's an international economic condition we're dealing with. We're dealing with an international economic setting, but still our ability to be opportunistic to hold our diverse communities as ambassadors to these countries is an element that I believe we need to amplify. We look at the Southeast Pacific Island countries, Central America, South America. Why aren't we using that kind of a strategy? And just wanted to put that on the table as we go through this process of analysis and being more global and not being so traditional and mainstream in our approaches dealing with our marketing concerns.
Thank you, Councilmember Reyes. The chair recognizes Councilmember Labange.
Madam President, thank you and all the members who contributed some thoughts and ideas on this. I got your message last night, Mr. Burns, and I got that real good. And I just wanted to add to this, when it came to committee, City Controller Chick identified the areas that were outstanding. The Visitors Bureau responded to them point by point and made changes, and they're continuing to watch and oversee that to make the changes. I had one little thing that I wanted the Visitors Bureau. I know, Ed, you just spoke about the international scene. I always want us to celebrate all our city, and even to our neighbors. So those in Pasadena come to Los Angeles, those in Santa Clarita come to Los Angeles, those in Torrance come to San Pedro, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was a 5, 10, 15, 300-mile radius. So that people can celebrate. So the people who live in Silver Lake, like you, Stevenson, come down and celebrate downtown Los Angeles. Those are just an important aspect that I ask they look at, which they are committed to do, which is real important. And I just want to thank everybody, and our committee will continue to look at this as well to make sure that we get the important and very important marketing that is necessary to achieve for our industries of hospitality that they come here. There's so many great places in Los Angeles. We've got to encourage it more from those abroad, from those stateside, and those in the region of Southern California. And also, Madam President, if you would, let me allow to take another 42 seconds to introduce Daily Technology Services. They're visiting the City Council chambers half for the last hour and a half. They include 10 interns from Laverne College, all dedicated, one to be a teacher, one to be a lawyer, 2 lawyers, and one to just go out and just help people. They're very special. Please let me ask you to stand and be welcomed by the Los Angeles City Council. Daily Technical Services.
Welcome.
Thank you. I thank you. I love what James Cagney said.
And what was that?
I thank you, my father thanks you, my mother thanks you, and I thank you. From Yankee Doodle Dandy. Remember the picture, Yankee Doodle Dandy. Anyway, thank you. I thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember Labange. The chair recognizes Councilmember Reyes.
Just one last thought on this whole issue. If we had functions like a soccer festival, if we had events that recognize the kinds of figures that have international attention in these countries, we would fill up these hotels. There was one famous singing star who sold out the Rose Bowl overnight. And folks don't even consider that kind of attraction. The Coliseum, when you have a soccer game between Argentina and Mexico, it fills up. So, and I talk about 70,000, right, Mr. Labange? Those are the markets we tend to ignore. These are the resources our city is bleeding, and we choose not to plug up those holes because we choose not to think outside of this norm. So again, I just want to emphasize that these are great markets out there, and we choose to ignore it, and I just don't understand why.
Thank you, Councilmember Reyes. Any other members wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we will take a vote on the amending motion first. Do you all know what that is?
Yes, that's motion 1A that was distributed, and all the council members should have a copy.
Okay, Madam Clerk, open the roll. Close the roll. And tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Now we will take a vote on the actual motion. Madam Clerk, open the roll. Close the roll. And tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next item.
Next item, Madam President, item number 4, call special for cards from the public.
We have cards on our phone. We will call forward Kenny Jones and Irene Kazmir on this item.
Good morning.
Buenos días.
Thank you very much for the
Muchas gracias por la
opportunity to speak
oportunidad de
before you
hablar
today.
ante ustedes hoy.
My name is
Mi
Kenny
nombre es
Jones. I'm
Kenny
the
Jones. Yo soy
Executive
el ejecutivo
Director of
director
the East
del
6th
este
District Community Youth Center. I'm also a member of Chief Bratton's new committee, Community Impact Advisory Team, where I'm now serving as the intervention chair of the subcommittee. Additionally, I'm co-chair of Newton Police Advisory Board. What I'm here about now is the fact that we have had on the agenda a report that was to be recommended for council action regarding our lease. This is very important to us because this property at 5863 South Wall Street, we have been using it for over 25 years. We have been maintaining it at no cost to the city, which included the water bill for the sprinkler, keeping it up and whatever. Since we have not had an approval to continue to use it, because we're also teaching our young people, if you don't have permission to be on property or to be at someone's place, do not go on it. That's called trespassing. These are part of the things that we're teaching young people at the youth center. What I'm here to ask today is that the council, and I want to thank the committee for even allowing it to get this far, would you be so kind as to move this along and get this action approved, because what we're dealing with right now is, since we don't have permission to use it, we're also not maintaining it, and it's starting to be a blighted area. The grass is taller than most of us, certainly taller than me, and we are going through the process. We don't want it to end up where the homeless people in the community just start throwing trash on it or whatever. Besides, we learned last night that Newton community has the highest gang rate of homicides right now. That's very critical to us. So as a safe haven for our young people, we need to be able to deal with all situations that will make them safe and keep them safe. We've also used that lot where they can come and play flag ball and whatever.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would you please consider this motion?
Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
We will now call Irene Casimir. Is she here?
¿Está aquí?
I guess not.
Creo que no.
That closes the public comment on this item. Any members wishing to be heard? Chair recognizes Councilmember Perry.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would like to ask the rest of my colleagues to approve the lease today, but with a caveat, I would like to ask the Community Development Department, the CAO, and the Bureau of Engineering to report back to the Housing and Community Development Committee in 30 days to give us a status report on the descoping of the project to make sure that the project can be built because it stayed in budget and we can move ahead on this. It's been pending for too long. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Perry. Any other members wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That motion is approved.
Next item,
Próximo
Madam
asunto.
President, item number 10,
Asunto
call special for cards from the
por
public.
tarjetas del público.
Chair recognizes
Se reconoce
Councilmember
por favor
Pacheco.
con Pacheco.
Madam President, may I take,
Presidente, yo puedo
with
tomar
courtesy of the council,
cortesía del
item 15
concilio
out of
asunto
order at
15
this
fuera de
time.
orden en este momento.
Are there any
¿Hay
objections
unas
to taking
objeciones
item
en
15
tomar
out
el
of order?
asunto fuera de orden?
Seeing none,
¿Se mencionó?
we'll do that.
Vamos a hacer eso.
Item 15 is now
Asunto 15
before
ahora
us,
está enfrente de
and we
nosotros y
have
tenemos
several speaker cards on
varias
this
tarjetas para
item.
abrir en este asunto.
I'd like to call up
Me gustaría llamar
to the podium Mike
al podio
Hernandez.
Mike Hernández.
Madam President,
Señor
members of the
Presidente,
council,
miembros del
I
concilio,
stand
y no me
before
estoy
you
ante
as
ustedes
a
como
constituent of
constituyente de
the first councilmanic district, but at one time I was a representative as a city councilman, and I'd like to share some thoughts I have about the importance of what I consider one of the gems of the city, the true treasure to the city, and that's the Southwest Museum. When any of you travel down that historic route of the first freeway that was put together, the Arroyo Parkway, the 10th freeway to Pasadena from Los Angeles, and you approach Avenue 43, to your left you see this landmark. You see this building that stands out at the foothill of Mount Washington, and that's the Southwest Museum. That particular building was founded by Charles Loomis. If you were to get off on Avenue 43 and go to the Loomis home, you'll be visiting the home of the first librarian of the city, one of the founders of the first museums of the city, the Southwest Museum, with one of the greatest collections of Indian drugs or Native American artifacts in this country. Now, I share that with you because the city has recognized that on several occasions, because of financial situations, the museum has basically moved into waters of trying to figure out how to deal with those financial difficulties and joined other partnerships. In this case, they're currently working with the Gene Autry Museum, which I think could be a very much positive. But it's important that we recognize the importance of the Southwest Museum to the community of Highland Park. When I was a kid, and I think Tom LeBron will share probably when he was a kid, he got to go through that tunnel and take that elevator up to the museum. And that tunnel, and get that elevator functioning again, was a project that I got to work on as a city councilman back in 1992 and 1993. And then once we did that, we found out that the museum again was planning to move. You need to understand that the community stood up and said, we need to keep the museum. And when they did that, they fought to make sure that the Pasadena Blue Line included a Southwest Museum stop. And one of two landmark stations that is being built with the down Pasadena Blue Line is at the Southwest Museum site. You also need to understand that the city of Los Angeles invested over $4 million on the Ziegler House. Casita Verde Center that would be next to that transit center. We also invested in a traffic signal so that people could cross the street to what is known as the Ramona Park. Another $3 million investment by the city so that there'd be parking available for the museum. When you look at Highland Park as a historic overlay zone, as a historic community, and one of the first suburbs of the city of Los Angeles, there's no question in my mind that Southwest Museum is one of the reasons people go there. I just wanted to share that history because the city has invested substantially in basically that community, and we've done it because of a landmark. We've done it because of a community that has a history, and hopefully you will support the resolution that's before you by Councilmember Pacheco, and continue to support the efforts of the community for Southwest Museum to be a functional museum, that we preserve the site, and that we make it a true treasure for the city of Los Angeles.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is going to ask you to come forward and line up behind the podium. Will be Stan Sosa, followed by Susanna Loomis, Ann Waldom, and Vanessa Acosta.
Mr. President, the resolution is very well written and expresses all the excellent points of having the museum at Mount Washington. Bring another item to the forefront. The Mount Washington community fought very hard to make the crossings below grade, the two main streets that come into the Mount Washington area. The cost was very high, and so the streets were made at grade. And part of the reason of the high cost was the Southwest Museum Station, which has to be at grade. So I would like to urge the passing of this resolution so that the sacrifices that the Mount Washington community has to make with two busy intersections that will be gated, as well as dangers from emergency vehicles that have to go through those two busy intersections, all for the maintenance of the Southwest Museum Station at grade, so that it be not put in vain the sacrifices that are imposed in the Mount Washington community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Susanna Loomis. And as she comes forward, if I can ask Ann Waldom.
Waiting on my cue. Yes. Good morning, members of the council. It occurs to me that maybe I can add to some of the eloquence of the people who have spoken before me by talking about the historical perspective. When Old Man Lummis began to envision the Southwest Museum in the 1890s, Los Angeles was a little frontier town. It considered itself to be a little frontier town. One of the reasons that it was not a great city, he felt, is because it did not have a piece of architecture that did not model itself after the European architecture, but somehow sprang up from the land and the people of the land. And he also felt the city should have a building that told, as he called it, the story of man and the story of woman, and that would be the first museum. And as they were building it, there were many architectural things that he was told were impossible, such as the spiral staircase and the tower, and he said, it's not impossible, find a way. And when it was finally finished in around 1914, I believe that the museum stood then not only for the treasures of the past, but I believe it stands as proof for the idea that what is said to be impossible sometimes is possible. And in that way, I think it captures the spirit of the future as well as the past. So, it would be very sad for the city to lose such a thing or for it to be closed off to the public. Thank you.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
Is Ann Wallem still with us?
¿Está con nosotros?
And our final two cards are from Vanessa Acosta. I can ask you to come forward. And our last card does not have a name, but someone from the Mount Washington Homeowners Alliance.
Good morning, I'm Ann Wallem. I live on Mount Washington. I've lived here for 49 years. I've been part of the efforts to keep the Mount Washington functioning on Mount Washington. In previous years, I was a large anonymous... I gave a large anonymous donation to the museum with the help of Mike on the condition that the museum stay at Mount Washington. What I want to show you with this chart I have in front of you today, rather amateurish, I must say, Southwest Museum as a destination. I think I'm glad that we are here at the same time as the Visitors Bureau talked about marking this area as a destination. Mike referred to the large public investment in Northeast Los Angeles, and I have enumerated here many things. We have many more facilities now, 10 years after there was a proposed merger with the Autry. At that time, we did not have this much richness of other resources. The museum, the Autry Museum did not have that much richness in its experience. Now the roles are reversed. We have the richness of culture, but unfortunately, the museum board has chosen to starve this museum practically to death. Autry, on the other hand, has done a wonderful job of marketing and publicity and displays. When I heard of this proposed merger, I said, this is wonderful. This will be a wonderful combination. But as some of us talked to John Gray personally, and as we read the material coming out, it was quite clear that there was no commitment to preserving an open museum on Mount Washington. That's why we are here today. That's why we are grateful to Councilman Pacheco. We now have, in addition to the Southwest Museum and Lummis Home, which has been there all of these times, Heritage Square, which is planning a new entryway, Casa de Adobe, which was refurbished with federal funds, Judson Studio, which has taken a much more prominent role as an art gallery. We have a newly opened historical police museum. Galco's Market is a museum of soft drinks, some of you have heard about. We have two new libraries coming in to flower. I must say, we should ask Mike to stand up for all of these things, most of which he did with his time. He helped in the development of both of these libraries. Cypress Park is now open, Arroyo Seco is opening. We have the Brewery Arts Complex. We have a lot of things in Eagle Rock that I've not put on this chart. We have very prominent, the Audubon Center, which is coming into Debs Park. The Debs Park project has gotten many funds, including the Prop K funds, and I must remind you, Prop K, which Mike authored. The Audubon, 2 minutes, okay. I've said my bit.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Vanessa Acosta.
Vanessa Acosta.
Greetings to all on this Valentine's Day. My name is Vanessa Costa. I am a former employee of the Southwest Museum and currently a docent and volunteer at the Southwest Museum. I'm here on behalf of those who question the merger with the Gene Autry Museum and for those who are concerned for the future of the Southwest Museum. I'm especially here today to support an employee of the Southwest Museum who spoke out at the Southwest Museum's public forum. She's listed in today's LA Times. She also endangered her employment on this day, February the 10th, at the public forum, wherein she had requested that we, the public, will look into the board of the Southwest Museum's intention of this merger, and also to request our city council and other officials to please ask the state attorney's general office to ask the franchise tax board to start the review of this said requested merger and to have the Southwest Museum's board investigate it, because the board of the Southwest Museum has and is continuing to be incompetent to handle this massive and valuable collection and the historic care of the public building, including the Casa de Adobe. We ask that the city, the state, or public or a private agency to step in and to take away the museum from the present board members due to their incompetence in making these decisions. In this regard, the valuable collection. I also want to ask if it is true that Proposition 40 has $40 million for preservation of historical buildings, and if so, can the Southwest Museum and the Casa de Adobe be placed on that list so the Southwest Museum and the Casa de Adobe have its own independence?
Muchas gracias. Este es un comentario, pero no ahora. Su nombre, necesito su nombre. Perdón, su nombre para el récord. James Leon. Y perdón que no lo puse, yo creí que lo había hecho. Siga. Yo soy presidente del Comité de Tránsito por la de Mount Washington, Alianza de Jóvenes de Casos Residente de Mount Washington por 37 años. Estoy en Los Ángeles y tengo como 20 años en la noche que San Marcos Hernández y yendo al Museo de Southwest. En ese túnel que recuerdo cruzando donde las casas ahora había, luego que yo era un pequeño muchacho, no más había un bosque que se hizo en el proyecto de 7 casas. No podemos perder este museo, es educacional, punto. Es educacional. He aprendido mucho. ¿Cómo era que Los Ángeles empezó y quién vivía aquí antes de que llegáramos nosotros? Tenía 10 años, tomé a mi hija ahí, cuando ella tenía más chica de 10, adoró el túnel y esto es una experiencia maravillosa y nunca debería se debe quedar ahí. Eso es lo que tengo miedo del orador previo. Hablo hacia algunos de las situaciones y preocupaciones acerca de cómo es que este museo está siendo tomado. Ahora, yo sé que a Autry no le gustaría estar expresada de esa manera que disputada, pero tenemos que Autry está en el área de Griffith Park. Ellos no tienen experiencia con el área de Highland Park. Ese museo se puso por el señor Loomis. Entendimiento que mi esposa, el señor Loomis lo creó en la montaña donde su casa está ahora. Él podía verlo desde su cocina. Entonces, es padre. Entonces, la próxima vez vaya a la casa de Loomis, voy a ver dónde de veras es, para ver si hay casas o árboles que hayan perdido esa línea de vista. Esa resolución debe de ser pasada. Y lo más importante de toda esta resolución es parte que leí, que creo que ustedes deben considerar todo en hecho, pero este aspecto en particular, que se quedó completo, lo funcional, público, museo. En adición al museo de donde está. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Esto concluye el testimonio público, porque ya estamos a 10 miembros ahorita, entonces, y por favor, estén seguros, mantenemos estamos mínimo de 10. Ahorita me suele reconocer Pacheco. Colegas,
As you remember,
como
back
ustedes
in
recuerdan, en
November
noviembre de 2002
I came to you and asked
vine a
for
preguntar
a
que
special
es
one
un
of the
especial
November
1 de
27th, a
26,
meeting which dealt with
una
the issue
junta
of
que
the
estuvo en la
merger
opción
between
del
Gene
merger
Autry
del Museo de Gene
and
Autry
basically
y
asked
básicamente
that
pidieron que
you authorize us,
deberían autorizarnos
my office,
en mi
the mayor's
oficina, la
office,
oficina del
CLA,
alcalde,
to work
lo
sorry, Mr.
siento por
Pacheco. It seems
Pacheco,
like
parece
we've
que
just lost
perdemos
our quorum here.
el quórum aquí.
Why don't you continue speaking
Porque
on
no
the
estoy hablando en el
item?
asunto.
We won't be in
Vamos
official
a,
session, but if you'd
si
like
a
to
se le
share
gusta
your thoughts, and we'll see if we
convertirse
can
en
get
Dios y
another member
podemos
down
agarrar
here.
otro miembro aquí.
All right.
Gracias.
As you know,
Como saben,
back in November
nosotros en
27th,
noviembre 27,
when we looked at this
cuando vimos
initially,
esto
it was
inicialmente,
before
era antes
any memorandum of understanding between Southwest
entendimiento de
Museum and
Museo de South de
Museum.
China,
At
Museo de
that
China,
point,
en aquel punto.
I did meet with a couple of
Estuve con un par
individuals,
de
board
individuos,
members,
miembros de la Cámara,
director of Southwest
director de Southway
Museum,
Museum,
and we were
y
unable
no
to
pudimos
really,
de veras
in the 11th hour,
en la
provide
11
the
hora
high amount of cash that they needed
dinero que
to
necesitaban para
take them off this track
tomarlas
of
de
merging
esta
with Gene
mercado con
Autry.
el Gene Autry.
However, at
Pero
that
en
meeting
esa
in
junta,
November of
en
last year,
noviembre del año
I did make a
pasado,
commitment
hice
those individuals that
para
regardless
esos
of how
individuos de no importará
things turned
cómo
out,
las
that I
cosas
would work
salieran,
with
que
them
iba a
as their
trabajar
council
con ellos
member to
desde
make
el
sure
Consejo
that
para
the
estar
Southwest
seguros de que el
Museum
Museo de
and all the
Southway se
joint
estuviera,
facilities were left
se
and
dejaran,
maintained
mantuvieran
open to the public, that we organized with our schools
de
more
nuestras escuelas
aggressive
más agresivos,
children's
los hijos,
activities there and
actividades y
visitation,
visitas.
and with the goal line
Y con
coming,
la
it was
línea
critical
dorada era
that we
crítico que nosotros
emphasize it in our
pusiéramos
marketing
énfasis en nuestro
and
mercado
tourism
y
attractions
turismo de acciones
here
de
in the city of
turismo en la
Los
ciudad de Los
Angeles,
Ángeles para que
when we look at
cuando
what's going
vemos
on
lo
at
que está
Southwest
pasando en el
Museum,
Museo de
we
Southwest,
make sure
estemos seguros
that we do
de
not
que no
lose this as a
perdemos
public
esto como
institution
constitución
that has been
pública
such a great
que ha
asset
sido
to
tan
our neighborhood
ganancia
and to
para
our
nuestros vecinos y
communities.
para nuestras
I
comunidades.
know that
Yo
Councilmember
sé que el
Mike
concejal
Hernandez,
Mike
Councilmember
Hernández, el
Reyes,
concejal Reyes,
have long represented there
representó
before
un tiempo
the
anteriormente,
redistricting,
pero
it
el
became a part of my
distrito fue
district,
parte de mi distrito
in June,
en
July of last year.
julio del año pasado,
However, I believe
pero
that
yo
all of
creo
us
que todos
in the city of Los
nosotros en la
Angeles
ciudad de
need
Los
to
Ángeles necesitamos
understand
entender
that Southwest
que el
Museum
Museo de
is
Southwest
a national
es
museum
el
that
Museo
has
Nacional que tiene
one of the
uno de
largest,
los
if not the
más
largest,
grandes, o si no el más grande,
collections of Native
colecciones
American artifacts. And
artefactos
so we want to make
nativoamericanos. Y
sure
queremos estar
that
seguros de que
this art and
este arte y
artifacts
artefactos
does not end
no
up being
terminen
only displayed at
solamente
Gene Autry
puestos
Museum,
en el Museo de
or
Gene Autry.
under any circumstances
Bajo
the
ninguna
doors being
circunstancia las
closed
puertas se
at
cierran
Southwest Museum
el
to
Museo
the
de Southwest
public.
para el público.
I ask your
Le
support
pido su soporte
of the community's
de las
position,
comunidades
and basically that's what we're
y
coming
es lo
here
que estamos
for,
haciendo.
is support of the
Es
community's
venir de
position that there be appropriate
que está
restoration and
apropiado
preservation of the buildings
del
at the Southwest Museum,
del museo
and that the publicity
y que
program
el
and community
programa
outreach be supported to the fullest extent possible to obtain optimum use of the museum at its present
en su
location.
lugar.
We want to make sure that the first
Estar seguros
class
de que la primera clase de
artifacts
artefactos
and art that is
y arte
contained
que
in
está
Southwest
contenida en el
Museum
Museo de
stays
Southwest se quede
part of our local
como parte de
neighborhoods,
nuestro
and we
vecindario
don't
local y
want
no
to see
queremos
this
ver esto,
institution closed
institución
down
cerrarse
anytime
en
soon.
ningún tiempo
I know
en el
that the
futuro.
conversations
Conversaciones
and talks are
y
delayed right now.
están retrasadas ahorita.
The optimal
Yo y la
situation,
situación
and
óptima,
this is not a
y esto es
filibuster,
un filibuster, pero no es una situación
I would
óptima.
definitely
Yo
would want to see some
querría
real
ver
language in the
algunos
contract between
el
Gene Autry
contrato de
Museum
Gene Autry
and Southwest
y el
Museum
Museo de Gene Autry
that identifies
que
the community
identifique
as
la comunidad
beneficiary.
como beneficiario.
From that
En ese
standpoint,
punto,
we can
podemos tener algo forzable en su relación y la comunidad puede estar parada en escoger como tercer beneficiario para esa relación. Estoy seguro de que todos los comentarios que se hagan en la relación entre Gene Autry y el Museo de Southwest sean esos que se mantengan en el tiempo. Porque la comunidad tenga alguna cosa para hacer los cortes, algún proceso judicial de que ellos sientan que algunos jugadores o cámaras de directores en el Museo de Southwest y Gene Autry no estén llenando esas responsabilidades documentales para el público. Entonces, por el punto, tenemos ahorita simplemente pidiendo que el Consejo, como cuerpo, como representante de toda la ciudad de Los Ángeles, comunique al Museo de Gennatri y al Museo de Gennatri la opción de esta resolución, que nosotros también soportamos el esfuerzo de la comunidad está
that we
abierta, que nosotros
want to make sure
queremos estar
that we
seguros de que
maintain our
mantengamos
commitment
nuestro
to the entire state of
a
Los
toda la
Angeles.
ciudad de
The
Los
gold line
Ángeles
would be an asset for everyone.
una ganancia
And so
para
this is
todos.
one of
Entonces, una de las
the stations that's
estaciones
based
que está basada
on the fact that
en el
Southwest
hecho de que el
Museum is
Museo
an
de
asset to
Southwest
us.
es una ganancia para nosotros.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very
Muchas
much.
gracias.
I'd like to recognize
Me reconocer al concejal Reyes.
The next speaker, if we can keep
Nosotros
things
si
as brief
mantenemos
as
las
possible,
cosas
that would
tan
be
pronto
most
sean
useful.
posibles,
Thanks.
usted.
Well, thank you, Council
Muchas
President.
gracias,
Thank you,
presidente.
Council
Muchas
Burton,
gracias,
for joining
profesor,
us.
por estar con nosotros.
Okay.
Okay.
What I just want to say to you is I was at the
Lo que
meeting.
creo
We
que
had
sobre
over
la
140
Junta,
persons there.
620
What's critical here is
personas son
that this
crítico aquí que este
body, this
cuerpo
resolution,
en esta resolución
make it clear to the
estar claro
boards
para las cámaras
how important this
qué tan
facility
importante
is.
es este lugar.
Previous speakers have been very eloquent
Ahora
about
son
what we've
elocuentes de lo
already
que
invested
nosotros
in this
invertimos en esta institución.
But what's just as
Pero
important
es también
for
importante
me as a person
nosotros
is
como
a
persona
few blocks
libre
away who's worked on
que
the
nos
planet for
hacen
all those
por
years
todos los
to make
años.
sure these
Pero seguro que
projects
esos proyectos,
under the stewardship of Mike
uno de
Hernandez
los
get completed is that we don't lose the
que no
fact that
perdamos
this
el
is one
hecho
of
de
the
que es uno de
main
los mayores
institutions of one of the original
instituciones
suburbs, and
suburbios
that we hold
y que
the
nosotros
boards
tenemos en las
accountable,
cámaras
and we
contables
work with them to make
que
sure
con
they're doing
ellos
the
es el que está
necessary
haciendo
work to
trabajo
fund
necesario para
and to
fundar
make
este
this museum healthy,
museo
like any
saludable
other
como
institution we
cualquier
have in
otra
the
institución que
city.
tenemos en la
And
ciudad.
that's one of
Y es una de
the,
las,
I believe,
yo
responsibilities
creo,
we have as a
respuestas que
city
tenemos
council
como
to
consejo
make
de
sure
la
that
ciudad
our
para estar
students stay
seguros que
healthy.
no esté
So for
saludable.
that,
Entonces, por
I know
eso,
Mr. Burton has to
eso
leave.
pienso,
Brevity
que
is for him what is a priority.
lo que es una
Thank you very
prioridad.
much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reyes. We have on the speaker queue
Estamos en la
Councilmember
Consejo
Rule
de
and
la
Labange.
y Lamanche.
If they still would like to make
También
comments,
estos
we
comentarios.
just have a bare quorum.
I know that Mr. Burnson has to
Siempre
leave, and
tiene
there's
que
an item that if we don't vote
asunto
on
que si no
today,
votamos hoy.
I still would like to speak,
Tenemos
but
un
if they, we
serial,
could
pero
hold
si
this
podemos
item to
detener este
take the
asunto
other
para
item
tomar el
relative to
asunto
Mr.
relato al
Burnson.
siempre.
They're also on the
También en
regular
la
agenda.
agenda general
There's
los
also two
colegas
special
todos
items which have to do
asuntos
with
especiales que tienen la
emergency
emergencia de
relocation,
relocación que
which have some time
tienen
in this
tiempo para.
too. So,
Entonces,
what we'll do,
To take the emergency items first.
asuntos de
well,
emergencia,
why
¿por qué
don't
no
we do this?
tomamos
We'll
esto?
recess
Vamos
this
a
meeting.
reponer
Let's
esta
take
junta,
this,
vamos a tomar
item up
este
for the
asunto
special
para la
meeting because
junta
this is the last
especial.
day we can act
Es el último
to
podemos
put
actuar para
a
poner
initiative on
iniciativa
the
en
ballot for a charter
la
amendment. We'll
boleta.
take that,
Vamos a
and then
tomar ese
together
y
we
luego
can keep
juntos
those
vamos
comments
a
brief.
mantener
I
los
think we can
comentarios
do all
para
the
pasar
specials.
todo
The
esto.
other ones are technical
Que son
amendments,
técnicos
so we can take them
para
all
ponerte
together while we still have 10
juntos.
people
Tenemos
here.
10 juntas.
So, Madam Clerk, if
Entonces,
you'll
por
please
favor,
recess this and adjourn this special.
Burnson, Galanter, Garcetti, Gruel, Han, Holden, Labange, Miskowski, Pacheco, Perry, Reyes, Weiss, Stein, Padilla, 10 members
10
present.
miembros
The quorum is
presentes,
present.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Hahn.
Thank you very much,
Muchas
colleagues,
gracias,
and
colegas. Sí.
Mr. Burnson, thank you for
Muchas gracias por
being here while we
estar
vote
aquí
on it.
mientras
This is the
votamos en
last
esto.
day
Es
for
la
us to
última que para
take
nosotros
action
tomar
on this
acción en este
item to have it
asunto
appear
para
on the
tener
May
aparecer
ballot.
en el asunto,
This
en
item
la
is
boleta
a
de mayo.
charter
Es una
amendment
carta de
item, which
amendamiento
must be
que
voted
asunto que debe
on
ser
by
votado por
the voters in
los
Los
votantes de
Angeles.
Los
And what this
Ángeles y
does,
lo
I
que
spoke
hace
about it
esto, yo
briefly
hablé
earlier,
pocas palabras
is
antes, lo que se amenda
Section 601
sección
of our city
601
charter
de la Carta de la Ciudad para dejar que
port revenue to be spent
ganancia que sea gastada
within the law
dentro
of
de la
the
ley
State Tidelands
y
Trust
los-
Act. Assemblyman Alan
Menos
Lowenthal amended the State
amendó
Tidelands Trust Act last
fondo
fall,
la semana-
passed by the
la
legislature,
noche
approved
pasada,
by the
y se
governor.
aprobó por el
And what
gobernador.
this does is
Y lo que
just get
esto
the Port of
nomás
Los Angeles to
Puerto
be
Los
in
Ángeles que
compliance
esté
with the rest
en
of the
reglas con el
ports
resto
in
de los puertos de
California.
California.
And let me be
Y déjenme
clear,
estar
as I
claro
know,
de
the
que yo sé
Steamship
que la
Association is here
asociación
today,
está hoy aquí.
and their only
Y
concern
solamente
is
están
that we make
preocupados es que
sure
estemos
and
seguros de
that the
que
port revenue
el
is
puerto esté
spent according to
gastado
the
de
law
acuerdo a la
of the
ley
State
del Estado
Tidelands trust that. Our court is held in trust for the people of California, and we're very mindful of that. But what this does is just get our court and our city charter in compliance with the state Tidelands language, which was amended last fall. So I ask for your vote on this, and I've got the motion, and I ask for your vote on this. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Councilmember Hahn.
Concejal Hahn.
Seeing no other
Digamos, no hay
speakers,
otros
if we could please
oradores y
open
por
the roll
favor
on the
abran la
item.
lista en el asunto.
Close the roll.
Cierre la
and
lista y
tabulate
establece
the
el
vote.
voto.
10 ayes.
10 sí.
Thank you very much.
Muchas
This
gracias.
item is
Este
approved
asunto
for
está
the ballot.
aprobado para el ballot.
Just forthwith,
Esto para
please, on
adelante
that item.
en ese asunto.
And if we
Y
will
si
now
vamos ahora a
adjourn this
regresar
special
a
meeting,
la Junta Especial
reconvene our
reconvenir
regular meeting.
en nuestra
If we
agenda
could
regular, si
now take
podemos
up,
tomar
the two special items
los
which have some
asuntos especiales que
timeliness
tienen
and have
tiempo
a final
que
benefit
tienen
by the city
beneficio
attorney.
para el fiscal de la ciudad. Señor presidente, voy a leer el récord. La Asamblea para que considere el récord de los dos, especial 1 y 2, simultáneamente. El Departamento de Vivienda ha determinado que hay tendencia en inquilinos en la contratación de la norma que califica para relocación y asistencia. Eso es especial 1. Y el Departamento tiene que hay inquilinos en norte de Bandini que califica para relocación y asistencia. Es especial 2. Y esto es para los dos, especial 1 y 2. En febrero 3, el Departamento de Viviendas inspeccionó estas unidades y ordenó estas unidades vacantes por código de violaciones. El alrededor de nuestro especial ha fallado en ofrecer asistencia del tiempo mandados por la ordenanza. Siento el gobierno debe determinar que hay una necesidad para tomar acción inmediata y la necesidad para acción vino a la atención del Consejo después de poner la agenda de hoy. Entonces se ha dicho, el departamento pide que el Consejo autorice la tal fondo. Vamos a ver las investigaciones de movido. Tenemos la urgencia de especial 1 y 2. Vamos a votar en las investigaciones. Por favor, ¿se la lista? ¿Establece el voto? Y así. Las investigaciones están aprobadas. Mueve la opción. Especial 1, estamos listos para la subvención. Sin objeciones, no hay oradores. Por favor, ¿se la lista? Cierre la lista. Establece el voto. Y así. Como una notificación, el especial agente de tenemos 3 oradores por los tuvimos una audiencia por ese regimiento ya se hizo. En nuestras disculpas, tenemos cubos que movernos en ese de hacerlo, pero nos vamos a hacer sus nombres en entrar en el récord de información. Tentamos en el del Consejo. Por favor, para adelante los dos especiales. Los dos especiales para adelante también. Ustedes vayan tomando juntos el asunto. Creo que es 14 y 16, tiene una opción para la fecha de marzo 30, para junio 30 y para el 14 también es un mandamiento técnico que ha circulado. Si no hay objeción en eso, vamos a tomar 14 y 15 juntos. Entonces ya es una opción, ábrese la lista, ciérrese la lista y tablece el voto. Sí. Esos dos asuntos están aprobados. El asunto habría sido llamado especial. Por las tarjetas públicas vamos a regresar a eso. Entonces vamos a tomar el asunto previo en el Museo de Southwest. Asunto número 15, que está enfrente de nosotros. Reconocemos ahorita el primer consejo. Nomás tuve una pregunta rápida del señor Reyes y el señor Pacheco, porque obviamente yo entiendo su preocupación, pero también sé que mi relación con el Museo de Audrey, que ellos han estado dispuestos a tomar esta responsabilidad. ¿Dónde está la financiación, la habilidad para mantenerlo? ¿Y cuál es su posición si es que están tratando de arruinar estos museos? Pues ellos ¿saben si han enseñado esta moción o han participado? La respuesta es, hay una preocupación que van a usar el lugar para bodega y eso mandaría a toda la comunidad mantenernos abiertos como museo activo. De veras es.
Is it dependent upon funding? I mean, is there any in the contract that you're doing that says
esa es la cuestión por las negociaciones. Ellos no pueden decir que lo van a mantener abierto. La comunidad lo que me dice es que lo mantengan abierto. Ellos no pueden hacer eso porque está su análisis o visibilidad. Y eso es donde están los que tenemos la obligación que por hacerlo no estamos haciendo alcanzamos eso. Vamos a hacerlo. Gracias, me gustaría reconocerlo con Chaval. Más que dar las gracias. Relación por un segundo. No quiero reportar esto, pero también la gente va a estar trabajando con la comunidad. Y quiero separar eso, que van a hacer eso y es buena cosa. Gracias. Muchas gracias. Podemos abrir la lista de esto del último orador. Cierrese la lista, estamos el voto. Gracias. El número 10 tenemos un público, pero la persona no está aquí. Podemos abrir el asunto número 10, la lista. Cierrese la lista y establece el voto. 10 está aprobado. Colegas, tenemos
Some housekeeping?
Alguna limpieza. Sí, sí,
Well, actually, there are,
sí,
I don't know if there are cards
hay
from
tarjetas del público.
the public on public comment,
Comentarios del
but
público,
there
pero
will be time for that if
sería
there
tiempo
are.
para
It's
eso.
not time for public
No es tiempo
comment. We
para
have one
comentar,
card
pero
we'd
tenemos
like
una
to invite
tarjeta
up right now
militar
at this time.
ahorita en este momento
Leonard
a Leonard Wayne Rose Jr.
Welcome.
Bienvenido.
Leonard Wayne
Yo soy Leonard Wayne Jr. y estoy aquí para hablar acerca de pensar la verdad de lo que pasó en las noticias, tanta esta violencia, sexo y las guerras que tuvimos hasta ahorita. Y ahorita se autorizó en la Biblia de escribir eso en un pedazo de papel que está en la Biblia. Que viene a hablar de la cura y destruir. Eso quiere decir esas cosas y que no se y chapter 6 al 20 como inundación. En ese lugar fue jalado de violencia en estas calles y habrán personas. Tienes el título de 1 al 35. Chapter 19, 1 38, Sodoma y Gomorra destruyó Sodoma y Gomorra, el verso que dice que Dios quiere destruir esa ciudad porque sus pecados. El final de la edad eso es muy importante, cosa que necesitan leer en Mateo chapter 24, verso 1 al 51. Jesús dijo, el Señor viene en la tierra y dijo, verso 6, estuvo aquí por las guerras y números. Pero ustedes que no están armados, pero al final todavía tiene que venir, la nación va a levantarse contra la nación. El reinado contra el reinado iba a haber hambre y muchos lugares. Señor, le voy a pedir que concluya. Me gustaría darte una copia de eso. La guardia está segura de que circule a todos los miembros. Muchas gracias por venir al Concilio de la Ciudad. Eso termina el comentario público, colegas. Ahora es tiempo para poner y referir algunos asuntos. Concejal tiene mociones para poner referencias, yo le limpiaría el escritorio. Vamos a poner esos, vamos a referirlos. Y el escritorio está limpio. Los colegas tenemos algunos anuncios. Algunas mociones de término, colegas. Entonces, por eso, levántense.
Councilmember Perry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I would like to adjourn in memory of Andrew Lee, who was born February 16, 1922, and served in the United States Army, and he was discharged in 1945. He worked for the Los Angeles Unified School District as a custodian and was a very active member of SEIU Local 99 and a community organizer for the American Association of Retired Persons. He was the husband of Julia Lee and lobbied in Sacramento and Washington on Social Security and other senior citizen issues. He helped us set up the Century Freeway Gardens so that seniors could grow their own food. His services are pending, and he is survived by his wife, Julia Lee, and a host of friends and relatives. I'd like to do this additional adjournment motion on behalf of Councilman Holden. This is to remember George Sampson Amandi. He was the brother of deputy employed by Mr. Holden, Steve Angale. He died last week in Nairobi, Kenya, after suffering from a long illness. He was the father of 6 children, and I know that our prayers and support go to Steve and the family of George Amandi. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you very much, Councilmember
Muchas
Perry.
gracias, concejal Perry. Algunos otros emociones de... Gracias a todos, feliz día de Valentine's a todos los residentes de Los Ángeles tengan un fin de semana de 3 días.
Please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Se terminó.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all, colleagues.
No, ever since I have come back from